You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Oh my God.
Try to Gale, the takeaway from Cole Pete. Gale, trailer, Jones, lift off.
No lead is safe in today's NBA. So.
Score it, and one for Steinbach.
Especially with that guy playing the way he's playing. He has it in his mind. I mean, he has it in his mind that he wants to get wherever he wants to get.
Messi driving in. Messi crossing back. Oh, there it is. Lautaro Martinez. Stoppage time. Go ahead goal for Argentina. It'll count as a game-winning goal in the semifinal. Indeed it is. Argentina do it again. And they set it A with Spain Sunday in New Jersey in the World Cup final.
Good morning. Welcome in. Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Next Gen Mail Medical. That's Austin. I'm Ravi here at Hurrdat Sports HQ. Shout out to Austin for being a real one.
Sorry, I didn't want to breathe so heavy into the mic right there.
No, I appreciate that. DB will be here at 8 o'clock like he was yesterday. He's doing team camp at Westside again. Maybe Rico could just make like a lower third. Just to be, DB will be back at 8 o'clock just so people stop asking questions.
Please.
He will be back.
This is so much better than when I host somewhere else.
Yeah.
And they always ask, they're like, I wonder if something's happening behind the scenes here. Because every time I go over to the other place, that's always brought up constantly.
To be fair, there's been a lot of turmoil or turnover. Sorry.
Turnover. Whoa.
Turnover. Sorry.
Come on, you shouldn't point fingers.
Turnover. Well, you know, they have a new overlord. And
wow. You a turnover fan?
What do you mean?
Like in the fruit form?
Oh, yes.
I wasn't talking like margin. Of course, you want to be in the plus.
I was like, I prefer Nebraska not turn the ball over.
You're turning into football mode right now.
I am, yeah.
Every question is a football
Immediately,
question.
I was like, no, God, please don't turn the ball over.
I think I'd go apple turnover one. I feel like that's like the classic. You go apple turnover.
I love an apple turnover.
Yeah.
I don't like, okay.
I'm kind of peach. I would go peach.
This might be a hot take. In terms of either pies, turnovers, pastries in general, apple's about the only one I want.
Okay.
I don't like cherry. I don't like blueberry.
Yeah, so Todd puts cherry in chat, which I'll be honest, the amount of cherry desserts that I've had in my lifetime is minimal. I don't know. Is cherry not a Midwest dessert fruit?
Cherry pie is it was a very big Midwestern thing. I don't know if it still is.
I'll be honest, I don't even know if I've seen a cherry pie in my lifetime.
It might be more of an Iowa than a Nebraska thing.
Interesting.
A lot of my relatives in Iowa, my grandma and aunt would do cherry pie a lot.
I'm trying to think other pies I've never seen. I've never seen a sweet potato pie in my lifetime.
Oh, sweet potato pies are pretty good. I've been told. I don't like sweet potatoes in general, but mostly when they're trying to make them into actual potato things. Like, don't give me sweet potato fries. I don't want that.
Really?
No, I don't. I think that's.
We did get, as like a society, we turned quickly to the sweet potato and marshmallow fluff as like a side. That was too much. We can't be having that.
Thank you, Rico.
I love that. No, that's perfect. You can keep that up as long as you want.
Leave it up the entire first segment, please. No, I do agree. We do this thing with foods, whether it was bacon. I've talked about bacon before, where we decide we like bacon and then we try and put it in everything. It's like,
okay, yeah.
Not everything needs bacon, man. Yeah. I love bacon.
Candied bacon.
Candied bacon's very good.
Candied bacon might be the top bacon.
But it's like,
am I wrong about that?
I don't need bacon in cookies. I don't need bacon.
Yeah, it's too far.
They're just trying to put bacon in everything. It's like, relax, man.
And also we get this mystique of bacon where you're like, oh, it's got this bacon flavor, whatever. Anytime you add bacon to something, you're going to taste the bacon. That's simply not true. Sometimes you throw bacon into something, it has no reason to be on there. I think case in point, this might be a little controversial, but a non-breakfast pizza, I don't need bacon on there.
I agree.
Because bacon doesn't do anything for me if there's like another type of meat that's there.
Here's the problem with bacon is in that scenario, if you don't have very much on there, it adds nothing whatsoever.
Yeah.
And
if you have fat for no reason.
And if you have too much, it's the only thing you taste.
True. Yep. Good point.
It's like banana.
Oh.
If you have too much banana in there, you will not taste anything else.
That is true.
And if you have too little, you taste nothing at all. So you really have to find a place where bacon makes sense and you're okay with it either dominating the taste. Because if it's not gonna taste at all, like why is it even in there?
So we got to admit, like a bacon strip is the best form of bacon.
Absolutely,
like in its truest form.
A breakfast bacon strip. And listen, I'm open to some interpretations there.
Yeah,
you mentioned like a candied bacon.
Candied bacon at like Christmas rocks.
I've had some. I think there's a local establishment that has, I don't know exactly what they do to it. I think they cook it in like sugar or like a syrup or something.
Yeah.
It's really, really good.
So Todd mentions chocolate chip cookies with bacon grease instead of butter. Bacon grease
is a different
We're talking
thing.
different things now. See,
I will also say sometimes if you don't do it right, the bacon flavor overwhelms the cookie,
Very
which
much
I'm
so.
not here
Yeah.
for.
Yep.
Like I'm
not biting into a chocolate chip cookie to have bacon.
Yeah, to be like, God, I hope this tastes like bacon.
Yes.
There are certain things. Yes, we're saying bacon strip. We're talking about dog
bacon
treats
strip. Yep.
exclusively right now, Kobe.
Kobe, I was telling Ravi and Rico this, but every single time I see you comment now, I think it's a new account because I'm so used to seeing large DB.
Yeah, you're so DB profile.
Listen, Bowling Green Rico is it's great.
No, I'm pro bacon. We need to keep it. Bacon needs to stay where it needs to stay in the places where it belongs most. Like very pro breakfast bacon. I like bacon on a good bacon on a burger. I'm pro.
Right. Are you a bacon wrapped guy?
Depends on what it is.
So like a jalapeno popper.
I don't like jalapenos.
Okay.
So I'm just out. And I don't like cream cheese that much. So like,
wow, that's like the worst dish for you.
Yeah, a jalapeno popper is not for me.
What is your, let me think of the right phrase here. What's your like Mount Flushmore? I'm going to steal that from someone else. What's your Mount Flushmore of like tailgate appetizers?
Oh,
so jalapeno popper has to be up there.
Is that a tailgate appetizer? Is that something people do a lot?
Maybe not tailgate. What if I just say like pregame?
Okay.
Or watch party, something like that.
Okay.
Is that better?
Yeah. So
I don't know many restaurants that I've went to that have jalapeno poppers.
A lot of bars do.
Do they?
Yeah, a lot of bars do.
I'm just not looking in the right place.
I'm out on jalapeno poppers. What else am I out on? I really don't. Anybody that's trying to make, not to go back to Shane's thing here, but anybody that's trying to make cauliflower like a wing, like just stop. I don't want anything to do with that. That's become pretty popular. I'm pro most appetizers.
Okay.
I like a spin dip.
Spin dip is good.
I like mozzarella sticks.
We make a thing called goop, which is just meat and cheese dip. But I told people we got to stop calling it goop because no one wants to eat that.
Yeah, that sounds terrible. As soon as you said it, I was like, nope.
Yeah, you're like, I ain't eating goop.
No, thank you.
Nope.
Seems like a.
But it seems something like my people would eat.
It seems like a Sydney invention.
Yeah, very much.
I just assumed there was more mayo involved.
There's no mayo.
Thank God.
It's just a straight. This is great. It's just a straight block of Velveeta.
Yeah,
and then you just mix in, I think, like hamburger meat and like onion and some Rotel.
I need you to. Do you season the hamburger meat at all?
Of course,
okay,
I do.
Okay,
I can't speak for anyone else.
I'm just making sure
because I season my stuff.
I know. I worry about some of your food's origins.
Corn. I swear to God, you just missed this by 3 minutes. Can you put it up again, Rico? I swear to God. Hold on. I'll do it. Yeah, thank you. My God.
So I anything that's like cream cheese or mayo forward, I'm out.
Okay. So no tuna salad at your tailgate?
God, I hate all of this.
Could you imagine you're getting ready for a 2:30 kickoff and someone's like, I got the tuna salad sliders.
That shit's been out in the sun all day. I'm out on tuna salad. I'm out on chicken salad. I'm out on egg salad sandwiches. Any of the salad sandwiches that are very like mayo, like I'm out.
Are you a sloppy Joe guy?
I don't mind sloppy Joes. They're fine.
Do you have a certain way that you like them? I feel like sloppy Joes and chili are kind of in the same category of some, like people like them a different way.
Yes, and on both of those, I need them to not be super tomatoey.
I agree.
Like if it's
tomatoey, and I need them to be thick.
Yes.
I want them to almost be like paste-like.
Especially on a sloppy Joe, if I'm putting it on a sandwich, like I don't need it to be all, especially a tailgate. Like that can't be all over the place. You're on the move, whatever. I need to have like a little bit of a more thicker consistency. Same thing with chili. If I'm having that as a meal, I don't believe soups are meals, and I like soup, but
soups aren't meals.
Like soups aren't meals. They're too thin. They're not like they're an appetizer.
Oh, so something's got to go with it.
Yeah, I can't just eat soup by itself and be like, yeah, I'm full. Like I just drank a bowl of hot water. Like that's not a meal. I'll do it as an appetizer. I like soup, but I want it as an appetizer. I don't like it's a lot of mayo and cream cheese. I just don't enjoy it all.
I'm surprised the cream cheese part.
It's the like globby gloopiness of it
The
all.
goop of it.
Yeah, it's the goop of it all.
We need
it's
to
not
start
for
using
me.
goop more.
I think I think Gwyneth Paltrow might have a problem
Oh,
with that.
never mind. I don't use goop anymore.
Isn't that the name of her company?
You know what it is, right?
What?
She makes like candles and stuff.
Yeah.
And you know what they smell like?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to use goop to
Yeah,
describe that.
if that's what the candle smells like, my company's name Goop. Like, I think you need to see a doctor.
Yeah, there was just a lot of bad choices.
Yeah,
no one. Well, I guess if she threw enough money into it, people would be like, "Yeah, whatever, Gwyneth."
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah,
Is
that a real name, Gwyneth?
Yeah.
Wow.
I knew
don't
a
know.
girl in high school named Gwen.
Really?
Yeah.
I
assume her name was. She went by Gwen. I assume her full name was Gwyneth.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I'm
I've only
assuming.
known her as Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yeah, she doesn't go by Gwen.
And I really only know her as the Iron Man lady and the lady from Shallow Hell,
She also,
which is really, really like tough for her.
Isn't she in? Isn't she in Seven? Isn't she the wife?
Oh my
in
God,
Seven?
she is. Yeah, her head's in the box.
Yeah.
Sorry, spoiler warning.
Wow, what's in the box?
Yeah, my bad.
Now we know it's Gwyneth Paltrow's head.
Mhm.
Don't
Yeah.
matter to me.
She's mostly famous, I think, at this point as Pepper Potts, though.
Yeah, right. Same with that. That's a shame too, because we think the same thing of Robert Downey Jr. He's just going to be Iron Man forever. That dude's in his 60s.
Yeah, he looks great for being in his 60s.
Well, yeah, he makes hundreds of $1 million. He can just. He's probably going to have his head floating here soon.
I don't know. There's some rich people that look pretty bad still. Have you seen Elon lately?
I haven't, but I mean,
Elon looks pretty
he's
rough.
the ideal male body. You just don't understand.
Maybe. He kind of looks like an alien.
Yeah. You know, for as bad of a dude as Bezos is, you know, being a supervillain and everything, at least he's like kind of a normal looking guy.
I
He's just
also,
bald.
listen, this might be a hot take here.
Oh.
At least Bezos gave us something.
Oh, like drones? Drones and Papillion. Do you
I
see
mean,
that?
like, if I need something and I don't want to leave the house, there's a decent chance I can get it by this afternoon.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Like
I got this shirt on Amazon.
He
so-
has provided a service.
Jeff.
I get that, you know, he may not pay his employees very enough and the conditions of the wear. I get it. I understand it. Not saying he's a good dude. But like Elon hasn't provided me anything in terms of a service. I don't want a Tesla or a Cybertruck. I'm not
trying to go to Mars.
I'm not trying to go to Mars.
What else is he doing?
Starlink, the internet thing, which I think has been good for some people, doesn't help me out at all.
He does run Twitter.
Which has made it worse. It seems
That is
like
true. I miss the bird. Bring back the bird.
There's a lot of bots on Twitter now,
and we just called it Twitter. It's not even Twitter anymore.
Yeah, I literally will call it Twitter till the end of my days.
Yeah.
Like for whatever Bezos's bugaboos are and whatever else, he's provided a hell of a service. Like nailed it.
God, you hate when a supervillain
It
does
was
that.
a great idea,
Yeah.
and he executed it flawlessly.
Man, the Empire gave us so many jobs. Too bad they're blowing up planets.
This
God.
man, well, as far as I know, he hasn't blown up any planets, but that's to be seen.
You could tell me he has, and I'd be like, "There's no way for me to know.
To be determined.
There's simply no way for me to understand."
I'm just saying, this thing started as an online bookstore, and now if I need a T-shirt or something, or
you can order your groceries.
I know, but then I don't have to go.
Yeah, that's one of the weird parts about Amazon now is you'll order something and they'll send you before you hit checkout. They'll send you that flash page of like, "Do you want to add 99-cent bananas?" And I was like, "I don't know when this box is coming. I don't really want food sitting out on my front porch."
TK, much like everything else, he didn't actually start PayPal. He was in early and then got kicked out because he was nuts.
Ooh, just like you?
No, I left on my own accord. It's okay though. We had a good run at PayPal. We appreciate it.
Yeah. Shout out PayPal.
Good times.
You got here because of PayPal. It's a part of your journey.
You know, it actually.
You ever look back at your history and you're ever just like, I didn't need this step. Like this step actually did nothing for me.
Yeah, that's what I think about my first marriage quite a bit.
All right, now I want to go to a break. That made me sad.
No, I learned a lot about myself in my first marriage. Like, don't do that again. But PayPal. So PayPal actually did help me out a lot because I worked weird hours there. I worked like 1 to 11. I was like a second shifter, and so it actually allowed me to fill in a ton on radio.
Oh, nice.
Before, because it was just like, I don't have anything to do in the morning, so just here we go.
Yep.
So it actually was very important on my journey.
Up early, up late.
Also, at the time, I don't know what they have now, but incredible insurance. So I just had free free diabetes stuff for like 5 years.
Yeah, that was
awesome.
one part at one of the stations that I worked at before I moved to Omaha. They had incredible insurance.
Yeah.
And I remember I was going through my second year there, and I could have gotten like LASIK paid for it. And I was like, oh yeah, that's like really good, but I'll hold off. And now I'm like, I should just why didn't I do that? That was crazy.
Go get your LASIK.
Like who's just like, oh, I don't have time for LASIK. Like always, if LASIK will be paid for, make time for LASIK.
Absolutely.
Like, that's a really good life skill to have.
Apparently, Derek says that Starlink has made Wi-Fi on planes much better. I don't fly very often,
And
so
also,
I wouldn't know.
Yeah, I've also not been on an airplane where the Wi-Fi worked at all. So, and I too have not flown very often, but I have flown a couple of times in the past few years, and the Wi-Fi has just never worked. So,
Yeah, I have an. It doesn't matter. I have an issue with my eyeballs that makes it very difficult to fly. So I don't fly often anymore.
Okay, so Coordinator says the algorithms are off for me. It should ask if I want hair product and sunscreen. I'll be straight up right now.
I don't know.
I think that you're trying to do a joke, and I want you to be better.
I don't.
I truly, I'm rooting for more from you.
I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, now he's just being a d-hole. That's fine. It's fine, Corn. It's fine. Corn is actually the #1 hater of me on this show.
Is he?
Yeah. This whole week, he's just not a fan of white guys, I guess.
Yeah.
It's fine. I can finally understand what it feels like.
You know what, Coordinator? I get it.
It's good. You know what?
I'm just kidding. I appreciate you being here.
What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. Our food talk at the beginning.
Yeah.
I think we have a mini epidemic of people who cook ground beef. I know you don't cook, so you don't really have this issue.
I do not, yeah.
I think too many people are like smashing ground beef. Like if you're truly making it like ground beef, you're not like using it to like make a burger patty or something like that. The minute that thing hits the pan, you don't need it to be chopping it up right away. You got to sear it. You can get like a good crust and stuff on there, and then you just like flip it like a burger, and you let it sear again on one side, and then you can cook it through, chop it up, do what you need to. I think too many times we're just like wanting gray slop meat. We can't be doing that.
So I'm going to be honest. I obviously I don't cook. I would imagine that you would chop it up immediately. Is that not the protocol?
I mean, you can.
Yeah.
But I mean, in what other form do you just like chop? Like when you cook a chicken, do you just like throw it on and then you start cutting it up right away?
No. If I'm cooking like a chicken breast, I think you cook it and then chop it up later.
I like you can add like flavor profile to your ground beef if you just let it like cook rather than just attacking it right away.
I assume
because then you can't get any sort of like texture on it if it's just all flattened and then letting all the moisture out.
This is an interesting point.
See, just letting you know.
I'll pass it on to my chef wife and see
I'm sure
see what she thinks.
I wonder how much she does. Does she deal with like ground beef and stuff?
So she used to be the executive chef at a hotel. So she was
that makes sense.
Over savory. She's just pastries now, but she was she did everything before.
What is the what's the Gordon Ramsay dish that they're always making in Hell's Kitchen? It's the one that's like wrapped a bunch of times.
Beef Wellington?
Yeah. She ever make that?
I think she has, not at home.
Yeah.
But
it's a lot to do at home.
it's a whole
that's too much we do at home.
It's a whole ordeal.
Yeah.
Like,
I think the highest form of cooking I ever do at home for like a dinner, I think I'd go like chicken pot pie. That's the most where I'd be like, I'm gonna roll out my own crust, I'm gonna do all this other stuff, and then the fillings and whatnot. Like I'll shred a chicken, I'll cook it up, I'll do all that, but like I'll get canned items for the rest of it. But like I'll make the crust. I guess my pizza I take a big deal on too, but
I'm not. There's too many vegetables in chicken pot pie. I'm not interested in that.
That's crazy. You're not gonna enjoy something good because it has vegetables in it?
No, there's a certain level of vegetables I'm willing to entertain, and pot pie is over that limit.
Shane, you're a chicken pot pie guy, right?
Shane loves chicken pot pie.
Chicken sandwich.
Okay, that answered the question. On that note,
good.
Sometimes.
Not
so
does it
much.
also have too many vegetables in it for you?
No, but it was something that we had growing up all the time, so I don't.
Oh, you got a
go
little sick of it?
Yeah.
I just never realized I was going to be in the minority so many times on this show. I can't believe that I am the only person who likes chicken pot pie.
When is Damon coming back?
Eventually.
Why'd you ask that?
Eventually.
Because I brought up minorities. That's crazy.
No,
Shane.
because everybody hates
Shane,
you.
That's crazy.
Because everybody hates you. We're still in the 22-minute window.
Look how quick he. No.
And nobody likes you until the last 30 seconds.
That is very. Shane told me that yesterday. That he was like, people don't like you on the show until they want your outro music to play. Then they're like all for you. And I was like, all right.
And they're like, we need Austin.
Shane's good hype man. Shane's good hype man.
No, I don't like chicken pot pie. It's not. Yeah, there's too many vegetables. It's honestly, it's the peas more than anything. I hate peas.
TK, we do hate you. Thank you, TK.
Oscar Nope says I hated you on KRVN, but now
KRVN.
but now you're
Holy hell.
but now you're fine, as Sasha would say.
That's crazy. It's a farm station. That means Gnome is guaranteed like from Lex or that area.
I would say he's got.
It's fine.
That's actually, I think that's one of my favorite drops. Like legitimately.
It's fine.
That's funny. That's man. He's pulling out the big
I
guns
know.
for the I hated you on KRVN.
Well, and we hit you with PayPal earlier.
Yeah.
I got KRVN. Like, what would be one right now that someone like? Was there like a Millard North bookstore you worked at as like a student?
No,
That if someone said that,
I hated Ravi when he was on the radio in Lincoln.
it's because you worked with me on the radio in Lincoln.
Good morning,
dummy.
Rico.
No, if they were like, I really hated you as the sports columnist for the Hoof Beat. That was the name of the Miller
The
North.
Hoofbeat.
Yeah,
That rocks.
that was the name of the Miller North newspaper. I'd be like, whoa, that's a deep cut right there. That's some lore. But I don't think I don't think we've got any other. I don't think we've got any Millard Northians that from my era. There's a couple people in here that went to Millard North, but they were
gotcha.
I believe after me.
Mm.
So they probably were not familiar with my work on the Hoof Beat.
That is very interesting. That would be very cool if you just had like more Millard North folk that were just
I would
tuning
love
in, like
that.
from your time.
Yeah.
That were just, oh, we've got these deep cuts on Ravi.
I mean, we do have.
That's what I'd love. People have like yearbook photos of you that they could send the show.
I'll bring them in. I don't care.
Oh, okay, never mind. It's not as fun anymore.
I'm very much less embarrassed about my youth than people probably imagine.
I mean, you
am.
know, it's some people like I'll pull up like an old photo of someone that I found, and people are like, "Where did you get this?" And they're like, "Take that down, delete it."
Yeah,
It's like, I found it.
I do not care.
That makes it less fun.
I know. I'll even tell you, the senior pictures had a pretty aggressive soul patch, which was not a
Whoa.
great look.
Soul
but
patch.
It is what it is.
Were you listening to Daughtry yesterday or something, or what?
No, but I mean that was pretty firmly in my Creed era, so that
Yeah.
not that I've ever left.
Do you have I don't know if Creed qualifies for this, but do you have a song that like hits you and you're like, oh, this reminds me of my soul patch days?
I mean, I went through a lot of facial hair phases in high school. It was just sort of a thing that I did because I could grow facial hair and nobody else could. So most of sophomore year, I had giant mutton chops.
Whoa.
Yeah, like in my permit photo for like my driving permit, you could see the mutton chops sticking out.
That rocks. Is it because you couldn't finish it all?
No, this was a choice.
That was okay.
I shaved it into that shape. I did the KG pencil line.
Nice.
For a couple years. I thought I was the coolest look.
Well, at the time you don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know any better.
I'll be honest. I've seen pictures. I stand by it. I stand by. Now I did do just the goatee at one point. That was a terrible look. Not a good look for me.
Okay.
What else did I do? Oh, I did a Fu Manchu at one point.
That rocks.
And
everybody loves a good Fu Manchu.
I also did a handlebar. I twisted the mustache.
Did people
up.
think you were 30 in high school because of the amount of facial hair you could grow?
A lot of people, most people just knew who I was at that, like at least within.
They didn't confuse you for like an advisor or like a teacher or something?
No, sometimes security did.
Nice.
There was a couple times they thought I was a substitute.
That rocks.
Especially senior year, because I grew like a pretty full beard as a senior in high school. I've got pictures. I'll send them over to you. I had like a this level full beard at one point in high school as a senior. And I came into school one day and there was like a new security guard and they're like, sir, faculty substitute checks in at the office. I was like, I go here.
Should have abused that.
And they're like, what do you mean?
What do you mean?
They went Hubert David. They went full Hubert on me. They go, what do you mean? I'm not going to.
What do you mean?
There we go.
I was like, I'm not going to talk until we play.
We
I wasn't on the page. When is DB coming back?
You only got to wait
36 more
36 minutes.
Yeah, so I went through it, but yeah, soul patch unfortunately was what happened to be the flavor of the week when I got my senior pictures done. So
okay,
it's probably my second least favorite after the goatee in terms of what I decided to do there.
So I
did lightning bolts one day.
Well, of course, naturally.
Well, what else? Might as well.
I mean, I got like my football number like cut into the side of my
I just like shaved
fade.
Shaved lightning bolts into my and had them connected. The
big Chargers guy.
No, I was just
not at that time.
I was just trying to figure out what I could do.
It's fair.
Lots.
See, I saw a clip from Damon doing an interview, like, I don't even know how long ago, it was for some documentary or something. And it's from obviously when he was younger. It didn't happen yesterday, but I almost don't want to see a yearbook photo of him because I feel like he looks almost exactly the same.
He does. I don't know if you've ever gone back and watched like old Nebraska games where they will pop up his picture as like a profile.
Oh, every once in a while. Yeah.
When he's like
the headshot photo.
Yeah. And he's like a freshman or a sophomore. He looks the exact same. He's like 19 years old. I like, that is the exact same. He hasn't changed a bit.
Yeah. The photo that he has that I think is him from, they used it for like the Nebraska High School Hall of Fame photo. That photo and today could be interchangeable.
Identical.
Yes.
Like it's unreal.
Yeah.
Especially if he, like, I think sometimes, he grows the beard out a little bit sometimes. If he doesn't have that, it is indistinguishable.
Yeah.
And he's a little leaner now because he's not playing football, but like his build is almost identical.
Yeah.
Like if you just saw him on the street, you'd be like, that guy could probably go run for 4 yards right now.
Those yearbook photos, they're taking care of him. So
it's unbelievable. Did we just lose internet?
I have no idea. No, we're still on.
Okay.
At least on mine.
Must just be mine. Don't worry about it. It's
Well,
fine.
I guess we'll find out. Yeah. I mean, you just died, but that's okay. See, now you're coming back.
I died.
Shane, we still good?
I don't know.
All right.
Good producer.
Good. Well, we can keep it rolling, I guess.
I still got you guys.
Thanks, Rico.
Okay, thanks, Rico.
No, literally. So for those trying to figure,
pop back in the stream there, Ravi.
Well, yes, I know.
Yeah,
That's why I asked.
For those trying to figure out what happened at home, all of our screens just like whited out here in the studio. So usually that means our internet has popped, but I just wait to find out.
I just assume any whiteouts are Austin's fault.
Wow. That's fair. That's actually a great prank. That's a great prank. That's very funny. Who's our Big 12 Monster Energy drink of the day that you already spilled?
So this is I appreciate. So as soon as we're going on air, the intro.
Don't get emotional.
I'm so proud. Speaking of the Big 12. So as soon as we start going on the air, the intro starts playing. I move my hand to grab the headset and knock over my, we're going to call this the Arizona Wildcat alternate blue.
Okay, gotcha. See, because you couldn't go BYU again.
Yeah, I've got BYU and Kansas heavy here. Monster Energy brought to you by the Big 12 Conference. So we're Arizona today. But yes, I spilled it. Austin, like a hero, ran, got me a bunch of paper towels, and we cleaned it up. It was a clutch move on Austin's part. We appreciate that.
I try.
I'm so proud.
Is this where I start to talk about college basketball and nobody knows that we're talking about basketball?
We could.
Because if you're talking about the Big 12, you have to start with Arizona. Have to start with Arizona.
I was so
That
confused.
was one of the funniest things because everybody was in sync and thinking the exact same thing. Everyone was like, Arizona. And then he went, well, I mean, obviously next on the list is Kansas. And you immediately like,
I was so
Kansas?
confused.
What does DB know?
What's going on with Kansas? Yeah, I was so confused. He's like, "Oh, I was talking about basketball," and I was like, "That's not the page I was on at all. I wasn't even."
I'm surprised. Like, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised that Damon's already like tuned into college basketball, but I'm working like steps at a time, and I know that he's always plugged in and watching and rewatching all that other stuff too. But if someone asked me for a college basketball take, someone did. I think last week on Friday, somebody asked me about my thoughts on like the Creighton basketball season, and I was like, "Oof, I gotta reopen a part of my brain that I haven't thought of in some time."
So that's
just gotta get ready for it.
I was kind of explaining that to him last year. I think we were in like October, and he's like, "Are you in college basketball mode yet?" I was like, "No, we're not. I'm gonna need you to give me at least till November, DB.
Yep.
Like we gotta ramp this thing up." And
that is one of the bad parts about college basketball getting started, and most of it's exhibition. But we do have regular season games that happen at the end of October.
I think first week in November.
Is it first week in November? Maybe did I move that up a little bit? But still, it feels like it's so early to be having those.
I think the exhibitions start the last week of October, and then you get your. I believe it's typically the first week in November that you get your actual basketball games. I honestly think they should kick off the season with the exemption tournaments around Thanksgiving.
Oh, just do feast week?
Yeah, just
like at the beginning.
Start with the feast week. That's the start of the season.
So, I guess in that sense, are you pro? Is it a shorter season, or does not everybody play the same amount of games?
I think so they capped the number of the games recently because people were getting to like into the 40s.
Yeah.
Recently. And so I just have a 30-game regular season. You play your exemption tournaments, whatever, and just be good to go. Just move on. It's good. Like you're done. Like we've already moved March Madness into like further and further and further.
Yeah.
So I don't think you need to move that at all. I do think there's a world in which, and I know with all the streamers and stuff like that, just play all the conference championships in the same week. Because they split it up into 2 weeks now.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And that would save you a lot of the time. Just play them all in the same week.
Yep.
Start them on like Sundays and Mondays and whatever. Let's be honest. Nobody's watching like the early rounds of like the A-Sun tournament, even if it is on ESPN. Nobody cares.
Yeah,
like it's on ESPN Plus or ESPN Ultra, whatever the hell their extra thing is called. Get Netflix to buy some of that crap. Like whatever it is. Like you've got so many different streamers now. If I had to watch the Home Run Derby on Netflix, I can watch the A-Sun tournament on Netflix. It'll be fine. Like get Apple TV to buy some of that crap. Just let's figure it out.
Yep. Bezos, co-prime.
Yeah. Hey, Bezos, like we need you to do public service. Like I know I can't get you to pay your warehouse workers more, but like, or allow them to find safety during a tornado or anything like that. But at least buy this up for me so we can fix the college basketball schedule. I think you shorten it by a week there and you're close enough.
The best part of college basketball season is the simple fact that there is something on almost at all times of the day.
Yeah.
Like, well, not all times of the day, but every single day.
Every day.
Yeah. Like starting at pretty much 5 p.m. Central, you could tune into any of the sports channels and you're going to find something on that you can watch, which is good.
Certainly by 6. By 6 p.m. you will have a college basketball game on.
Which we're struggling right now with.
Yeah, there's not a lot of sports going on right now. I don't know if you know this.
Soccer was good yesterday. Did you watch? It was too early. It was too early.
I wish it was like at 4, but I did watch, and I hate Argentina.
Whoa, really?
I hate Argentina.
Okay, why anti-Argy?
Non-soccer reasons.
Oh, Hitler?
That's one of them. Yeah, they're pretty open about the Nazis just being like, hey, is this a safe landing space? They have a pretty problematic history. Not that everybody doesn't, but I'm just going to leave it at this.
It's wild just to throw that out there.
Yeah, it was, but it's also mostly what I was thinking.
Was I wrong?
No, you're not wrong at all.
I'm a good investigative reporter, people say.
I'm just going to put this out there and then we can leave it and maybe even take a break.
Wow. As soon as we get to soccer talk.
There was exactly one country in the World Cup that did not have a single black person on the roster, and it is Argentina, and that is intentional. Norway had a black person on their roster. Norway, famous for their African population. Literally every European country every country except for Argentina had a black player on their roster, at least. You've got the Nazi sympathizers part of it all. And they systematically in like the 1800s would send the African population, the black population purposely to the front lines of their wars to sort of like systematically eliminate them. And then any contributions that were made to their society, they pretty much just ignored and try and erased from the record books and the history books, more or less. It's a pretty problematic, like I get a lot of countries have problematic histories. Argentina seems weirdly proud of theirs still. So yeah, we don't like Argentina that much.
All right. Yeah. I don't think we're going to be talking much more soccer on that. So we should take a break. You're right. I did learn something though.
Argentina's pretty rough. Like,
did not know the history of Arg.
Just read a little Wikipedia article on Argentina and you're going to be like, yeah, I don't know about that.
All right.
Also, they just got one. So go away. Like, and they played.
It is just disappointing that I kind of wanted France to come back around and get them.
Yeah.
I thought that they were too big of a wagon to be able to be stopped, but then they just kind of got.
Yeah, Spain
kind of got smothered.
Spain's really good.
España.
Spain. How do you say it?
España.
Yeah, Spain's really good. Also the other frustrating thing for me is like Argentina should have lost like 4 times already.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah.
And like, listen, you appreciate the resiliency and stuff like that, but
they're kind of Argentina, they're a much better version of this, but they do remind me a little bit of that TCU team that made the college football playoff final, where they just kept having these crazy comebacks and close wins. And the entire time you're like, I don't know if you're as good as what you play in the last like 4 minutes of every game is.
Yeah.
But I can't knock you for winning.
No, like you appreciate the resiliency and their ability to stick in it and stuff like that, but it's also like, I don't know. They've had some advantageous
Yeah.
things go their way.
But that was the other part too. Is so did you watch the match last night or yesterday?
Yeah.
So the broadcaster continually going, "Will this be the equalizer?" And it's like, hey man, there's still like 5 minutes left. There's at least 20 more shots on goal. Like, you can't say it for everyone, you know.
I will say I do love the British commentators.
Yeah.
They are so much better for soccer than like the American ones.
Once we got those Americans out there.
I'm just saying, like, the British commentators are so much better at this.
Yeah.
I
Well,
would listen to British commentators for American football. Like, they're incredible.
that would be interesting.
There's the approach they go to it, and we love our like Kevin Kuglers of the world and guys like that. But
can he be British?
I think he should try and do an accent.
That'd be good.
Just so he can pick up some World Cup games.
Put him on Telemundo for one. See how he does. How good of a broadcaster are you, Kevin?
In Spanish.
The Telemundo broadcast I did peek over for in like group stages. That was kind of fun.
I just want to hear Kevin Kugler give his best like 45-second goal call. Just go.
Ask him the next time he comes on. Be like, give us your impression for the last how long of this segment that we have.
Give us your best impression of a Hispanic Telemundo broadcast goal call.
Yeah.
I don't know that he'd do that for us.
I will say for soccer broadcasts, and I know like some people that are bigger soccer heads probably do enjoy the broadcast because they're probably getting more insight on some of the things that they're saying. I don't know if I need broadcasters for my viewing personally. And I do feel really bad. The Fox teams have had excellent sideline reporters. Like they've been sending some of their like top people out there to go be on the sidelines and get stuff. They don't talk at all.
Yeah.
There's nothing for them to say.
No.
Like during the United States game, they had somebody down there. They're like, hey, we're going to throw it down to the field. How's it feeling? They're like, the United States is pretty sad right now. Back to you. Thanks. I'm just thinking of like, how if we sent like if AB got like one of those calls and she was out there, like I feel bad for her because she would do all this prep work and be like, I have these great stories. And they would give her 30 seconds to be like, how did they feel after they gave up a goal?
They'd throw to her like once the entire match. It's like, oh, well.
Good payday, though.
What are you going to do?
Cool experience.
Yeah, I mean, you'd be on the sideline for a World Cup game.
Yeah.
There's worse
You
things
get a
in the
seat
world.
literally nobody else would have. That'd be cool.
Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah. Let's take a quick break here. That's Austin. I'm Ravi. We will be back in just a little bit. DB will join us at 8 a.m.
Really?
And then maybe we'll set a lineup at some point. I don't know. We'll see what
Anything's
happens.
possible. A lot of people today.
That's Austin. I'm Ravi. It's Hurrdat Sports Live. We'll be right back.
Feeling tired? Foggy? Just off? At NextGen Male Medical Clinic, we offer hormone evaluations, peptides, supervised weight management for men and women. Most insurance accepted. Schedule a visit at nextgenmmc.com.
One of those players was Trey Palmer, and obviously he played here at Nebraska. Kind of talk about what it's like being able to bring a guy like that back to Nebraska.
When he found out about the camp, because he didn't know I had this camp going, and so when I told our guys about it, he was the first one to volunteer. He was excited. I don't think he's been back here often since he graduated, so it's been great having him on the team. We throw some Nebraska memories and landmarks and restaurants around in passing, so it's been great having him on the team.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's Austin. I'm Ravi here at Hurrdat Sports HQ. We will be joined by DB eventually at some point.
Who knows? Anything's possible.
You know, I'm just going to leave you guys in the dark now because I feel like you're being a little snarky about it.
There you go. Yeah. That wouldn't be our chat. Our chat would never latch onto something and try to. That's just the show in general.
That would never happen.
We just take one little thing.
Should we talk more? Should we talk more soccer? I feel like people are.
People love soccer on this show. They love soccer.
Listen, you want to talk about?
It's almost over.
Do you want to talk about soccer? Do you want to talk about? I'll give you options here.
You're just gonna run through your rundown of things you never talked about with Damon.
No, these are new.
Oh,
these are new. There's a soccer topic we could get to. It's U.S. related.
Whoa.
There is a trend going around the internet about how to consume 15,000 calories in a day.
I'm very interested in that.
Okay. We could do. Are you familiar with the movie Brewster's Millions?
I'm not.
Okay. There's a premise about spending a certain amount of money with in a certain time period and how you'd have to do that in order to like get your inheritance.
Is this like you win? Oh yes. Oh, this is a. Is that Eddie Murphy? Is that an Eddie Murphy movie? Who is that?
No, that's a different black guy.
How dare you?
I'm not.
That's really mean of you.
It's Richard Pryor.
Richard Pryor.
I thought it was Richard Pryor, but I didn't want to make the same mistake you did.
I'm so proud of both of you.
That's
my bad.
Oh, sorry. The scene of Coming to America. That's not bad.
Yeah.
Which isn't. It's not the same, but yeah. No. Yeah.
It's 80s comedy. Like I get it. Yeah. It's fine.
Robbie, if you put both of those together, it's my question from yesterday.
It really is. So we were in the. It's 2 days ago. It's 2 days ago. We were in the car on the way back from Chili's. With our good friend Kenny Bell.
Kenneth.
In which it basically just turned into guys naming dudes that Kenny played with, which was a fun.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
It was a fun activity over lunch, and we saw one of the Powerball signs or whatever, and he's like, so you start talking about like, oh, what would I do with this, whatever, and I was like, yeah, it's still obviously a ton of money, and you'd be so happy, but I was like, after the immediate payout and then taxes, a $450 million jackpot ends up being like 150. And he's like, well, that's nothing. I could eat $150 million worth of food. And I was like, you could not eat $150 million worth of food in your lifetime. He's like, I could do it in a month. And so I started doing, or a year. He said a year.
A year?
And so I started doing the calculations on it. And I was like, I figured out what the most expensive food in the world was. Apparently there's a caviar that's $35,000 per kilo.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, you would have to eat 26 pounds of that caviar a day to get to like $12 million in a year.
Oh my God. Somebody's probably doing that. God, that's frustrating. Makes me mad.
And so I was like, that's off the table. But there's this, I think DB sent us the video. He goes, hey, if you have to eat 15,000 calories in a day, but it's all the same food, you have to eat the same food to get your 15,000 calories in, what are you choosing? And I think it's a much harder question than people realize. Because 15,000 is a lot of calories. For example,
so it's not a food item. It's like a.
I mean, you could be like, "Hey, I'm going to eat 30 Big Macs."
Yeah,
and that will get me. Or it could be, I'm going to eat only
1,500.
No, 15,000.
Oh, 15,000. Okay, sorry.
1,500 calories is not hard.
I thought. Sorry, I kept thinking you were saying 1,500. I was like, wow, this is really tough. I was like, I'm going to be hungry all day.
No, this is 15,000 calories. I'm going to see how many calories are in a Big Mac.
Like 800, 750, somewhere in there.
This says 563.
Whoa, that's pretty good.
Yeah, 580. So
the fries probably get you.
Let's call it.
Fries got to be like 300.
How many calories are in?
Do medium fry.
Medium.
Because the medium's the generic, right?
Yeah.
You got to supersize to a large.
So that's only 320.
Yeah. So at a meal.
No, but I mean, like if you choose French fries, that's too many French fries.
Yes. So 15,000.
For a Big Mac, you're saying, okay, we've got.
And I have to fill out the calories.
Yes, you have to eat.
Okay.
Yeah, like the goal is you get like $1 million or whatever. You eat 15,000 calories in a day.
Oh, okay. I understand the premise now. Okay, I got you. Okay, so I have to eat one thing.
15,000 calories divided by, I'm going to call it 600 for ease of math you'd have to eat 25 Big Macs.
Could I just
could you eat 25 Big Macs in a day?
In a day? Yeah, I probably could. If I was up at midnight, I could have one an hour.
It's basically one an hour.
I think I could do that.
Am
I being ridiculous with that?
I think that's harder than you think it is.
I see. The thing is then that would be my job for the day. So I would be walking around, or I'd go ride my bike, or do
try
something.
and get the digestion going.
Yeah, just to keep stuff moving and distract myself, because that's the fallacy of this whole thing is some people will just sit and do nothing.
Yeah.
Then you're not going to be hungry.
No, you have to work. Walking, I think, is important for the digestion. Either walking or biking, some sort of cardio to get the digestion going.
So you're not putting any, unfortunately for this day, you're not eating any fruits or vegetables. You can't have anything on the lower end calorie. Oh,
correct.
Geez. Protein's not going to do you. So you need something that's high in fat. Could I just, oh man. Could I just inject butter? How much butter would I need to do, you know what I mean? Or what if I just drank olive oil? And that was it. If I just drank an entire liter of olive oil,
I think you would throw up well before.
Oh, okay, olive oil doesn't sit well.
No, not pure olive oil. So,
sorry, extra virgin. My bad.
I would need to eat 30 Taco Bell steak quesadillas. I could do that.
That's a lot of steak quesadillas.
I don't think you could do that.
I think you're
Rico. You get full so quickly.
Ravi, you buy me the 30 quesadillas, I'll eat them in one workday.
He's not going to do that.
It's $210.
This guy's eyes are always bigger than his stomach. Constantly.
I would do it if you bought him in 10 increments, so that I'm not paying $200 and you only get through 12 of them.
Deal.
See, and
you have to film the whole thing though. I need content.
The toughest part is
we'll put it on the Patreon.
Trying to Patreon mention. Link in the bio, by the way. The toughest part is you can't pick something that's actually decadent. You can't pick a cheesecake. I can't eat 15,000 calories worth of cheesecake.
So I tried to look up the highest calorie fast food item, and you're either looking at, if you're going decadent, at Sonic, the large Oreo and Reese's peanut butter master shake.
Couldn't do it.
Is 1,700 calories per.
So you need 9.5 of those. 15,000
divided by 1720. You would need 8.5 of those. So that's,
I couldn't do that.
But we're starting to get into a reasonable territory in terms of number of items. Now,
5 jars of peanut butter is 15,000 calories.
There's no way.
Yeah, I couldn't do that.
Shake Shack has the double down fries, which are loaded with bacon, cheese sauce, and cherry peppers.
I couldn't do cheese sauce that often. Man, that's tough.
That's 1,910 calories, though. You only got to get through 7 of those.
This is why I cut off pizza. I couldn't do pizza for the entire day. This is tough.
It's a little. You basically are doing just under 8 of the Shake Shack items.
Actually, hold on. I'm going to look this up.
Okay, so the Bacon King at Burger King is at 1,200. That seems maybe doable.
Nah, dude, that thing was heavy.
Okay, you're talking about eating 30 quesadillas in a day. You can't hit me on the Bacon King.
Do you think?
No, dude, the Bacon King has 4 patties and 6 strips of bacon along with the sauce and the bread. It's a big boy.
The triple Whopper tips in at 1170.
Okay, hear me out.
Okay,
if I do, and I actually think I could do this. If I did just large French baguettes with bread or with butter and just spreadable butter, one large baguette by itself is 1,000 calories. If I add butter to every slice that I'm cutting off or eating,
we'll call it 1,500.
Yeah.
So you'd have to eat 10 baguettes.
I think I could do that.
You think you could eat 10 large baguettes?
Dude, you've never, listen, I can eat poor better than most people. I'm real good eating poor.
Austin out here crushing loaf.
Dude, listen.
Didn't realize you love bread more than Shane does.
I get that bread. Barely.
Wendy's has a pretzel bacon pub triple burger.
I ain't eating pretzel burgers. I want my baguette. My final answer, I could even do garlic bread, man. I could do garlic bread.
At 1,530 calories. You're eating less than 10 of those. I feel like I could eat 10 burgers in a day.
Hey, you could eat 10 burgers in a day. That wouldn't be
That's
too bad.
way more doable than 25 Big Macs.
Oh, yeah. And also, I don't want to eat a Big Mac that often.
But it's 10 pretzel bun burgers.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's fine.
I don't like a pretzel bun. Pretzel bun's
It's
nasty.
it's just about getting through it.
Yeah, that's true.
I think I'm going with the 10 of the Wendy's pretzel.
And no
triple
one's
burgers.
picked like ribeye steaks or anything like that. Because like a serious sized ribeye, if you just like went for like a 72-ounce cut of like a steak or something like that,
Wait,
that get you.
Ken, where does the where are you getting the quadruple bypass burger? Where is that at?
Oh, that's from the Hurrdat Grill or something like that. I think it's in California or Texas.
So
one
you
of
would
those
only
two.
have to eat like 1.5 of those.
Oh, that's perfect.
He says that thing is 9,982 calories.
Oh my God.
That doesn't even seem physically possible.
The Heart Attack Cafe does not exist anymore, I don't believe.
Rob says Pizza Hut meat lover stuffed crust is 31.80. So it's like 5 a day.
But the problem is that I feel like I couldn't eat 5 pizzas in a day.
I don't either.
Because my first thought was legitimately the Costco pizza, because like one slice of Costco pizza is 800 calories or something like that.
Let's Google here. How many calories in a large?
Because I did this during training, because there's like 70 grams of protein.
Yeah, there's a lot of protein in there.
It's a lot of cheese. It's a lot of cheese.
How many in a Costco pizza? Whole Costco pizza, right?
Yeah, let's do whole pizza.
Yeah, so in a Costco
pizza. If it's 4 pizzas in a day, I think I could do it. But 5 or more is pushing it.
Ooh, okay. Costco, you're looking at like 3.
Yeah, I mean, I could start at midnight. I could eat through 1.
A whole cheese pizza, so it'd be 3 and like 2 bites on the next one. A whole cheese pizza at Costco is about 4,800 calories.
Okay,
I think I could do 3 pizzas.
I could do 3 Costco pizzas.
I think I could do
in
3
a day.
Costco pizzas.
Yeah.
If there's $1 million on the line, I'll figure out a way to
Oh,
get 3.
100%. Yeah. No, it's like I was saying, like this because of my job. I'd figure it out. Yeah. I wouldn't worry about anything else.
You would have to get some exercise in between the pizzas, but that's only 1 pizza every.
I also wouldn't want to be anywhere outside of my bathroom the next day.
That's only 1 pizza every 8 hours.
Yeah, that's not bad.
That's doable.
Some people do that.
That's less than a slice an hour.
Yeah, that's
because I
fine.
think there's only 6 slices. Maybe there's 8.
I think there's 8. Yeah.
So there's 1 slice an hour for your whole day.
I'd feel pretty good about that.
I think I could do that.
Yeah, I feel pretty good about that.
All right, Costco pizza is the winner.
If it's 3 Costco pizzas, that is an easy choice. I still like my French baguette idea, though. I
feel like you. I don't know, man. 10.
Can we get this content sponsored?
Volume is a lot. That's a lot of volume.
That's the problem with the baguettes. Is that's so much bread.
I know, but boy, do I love bread and butter.
I do
love
too.
bread and
I
butter.
love bread. Bread and butter is incredible.
Ripping off a hock of that thing and just, I love bread.
So
and butter.
you know what I do?
Bread is the way to go.
Thank you, Shane.
That's Shane's favorite. I'm one of those people that, and this is, you'll probably shame me for this. It's okay. Like, you know, at a restaurant when they bring out the bread and then it comes, the butter comes in the little, like, I think it's called a ramekin, the little cup.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be honest. I'm dipping the bread in the cup.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
I'm not spreading the bread's a pain in the ass. I don't get the amount of bread, or I don't get the amount of butter that I want.
So you're talking about when they just like bring the butter like in the little dish or whatever? No, I don't have
like,
a problem with that.
I will take it.
Now, is it your personal or is it the table one?
It is usually just me and my wife, in which case she's okay with the situation.
Yeah, that's fine.
If there's like a community butter, I'll ask for a separate so that I'm not getting breadcrumbs and everybody else's butter.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Because I'm a reasonable person. And also I'm going to double dip because otherwise you don't get enough butter.
Exactly.
So I'll allow a community butter to be on its own. But especially at like, you go to like Texas Roadhouse with the cinnamon butter and stuff, like I'm dipping that stuff.
Yeah, I'm very excited. Post engagement photos coming up.
You want to go to Texas Roadhouse?
That I told Dr. Fiance, I was like, we're to go in Texas Roadhouse.
If she doesn't take you, I will.
Okay, perfect. I told her that I was like the one thing I want to do, because we're going to Lincoln because that's where the photographer is based in.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, we should go to Texas Roadhouse after. And she's like, well, there's a Texas Roadhouse in Omaha. And I was like, yeah, but
we'll be right there.
We'll be right there. And I forgot that, when you do engagement photos, they're usually in the evening.
Yeah.
And so we're going to be done at like 8:30 in Lincoln. She's like, are you sure? She's already asking me. She's like, you got work in the morning. I was like, no. I want to be there.
She's going to have to roll you in.
Oh yeah. Oh my God.
Into the office.
I'm going to make her drive home. And it's on a Sunday night. To start on Monday. You're just going to see me like, I'm going to look like a baby after they get fed. Like I just have this super round belly to look great.
Look
at this guy. Look at this guy.
When is Damon going to be here?
Great question. No one's asked that yet, Shane.
He's in the room with you, dummy.
That's right.
I can't wait. So when are the engagement pictures?
August 2nd. It's
Okay,
the first
they're coming
Sunday of
up, a
August.
couple weeks.
I know. Yeah.
You feeling okay? You ready?
I feel good. Yeah.
You've been biking to work.
Luckily, BLT was taking headshots yesterday. He said I had a nice smile. I said thanks, BLT.
What a nice person.
What a guy.
BLT is.
But he is my coworker, so he kind of has to say that. So
No, he doesn't. I'm your coworker, and I say terrible things about you all the time.
thank you. Did you get your headshot done yesterday?
No.
Oh, you don't need one?
I need it, but we need to do DB and I need to do like a whole thing.
Oh, so when the company says, "Hey, we're doing headshots," you go, "Not for me."
Well, I mean, I already have many more photos of myself the company has taken than everybody else here, so I don't feel it's as like a necessity.
Those are my favorite photos from the Kenny Bell shoot. I love those. You use them all the time.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, they're great. The one of you holding a football where it says Lincoln across your forehead, and you're just.
I like the one where like Kenny has like spun the football and we're both like down like this. So we're doing one of these. Look like we're on a recruiting trip to Hurrdat.
I also like I like the ones too where it just looks like the photographer told you, now do something like you're confused because it's just you going.
I don't even remember what the prompts were. Yeah,
I don't even recognize.
I was like, what the hell are we doing?
No.
That was my question.
All right, get DB in here. He wants to talk about the British Open.
We got to talk about the British Open.
Got to talk about the British Open. Who doesn't love golf?
Everybody loves golf.
Everybody loves golf.
All right, that's Austin. Thank you for filling in for us one more day. DB coming in here. We're going to talk to John RATHOUZ. He is a former PGA caddy. We're going to talk a little British Open here. Also coming up on the show, other people. We'll talk about them later. That's
wow.
That's I'm just kidding. We have Brian Edwards, Michael BRUNTZ, and then actually have a very special guest at 9:30, Adrian Dowell, the athletic director for the University of Nebraska at Omaha. Excited to talk to Adrian as well. I know him and DB are tight, so I think that's the only reason DB came in today. He's like, got to talk to my guy Adrian.
Well, he said golf and Adrian. He's skipping everything in between.
Yeah, you might have to come back. We'll see what happens. We'll be right back. More Hurrdat Sports Live. Everyone's talking about peptides. You are doing it right. At NextGen Male Medical Clinic, peptide treatments are clinician guided, tailored to your goals, monitored for safety. Call today or visit nextgenmmc.com.
What was your first impression of Kansas City?
Really, it's a good place. I like this city. I also like the food. The barbecue is so good, and really I'm in love with Kansas City.
The energy. I love the energy of the people here.
It's always nice to see just people out on a sunny day trying to watch us or just fellowship with other soccer people. Yeah.
What about the people?
It's a really nice people. Really, all the people, like, it's nice with us, and all the people, like, hug us, and it's fine. And really, we love people from here.
You said you've been to America before. How does other parts that you visited compare to Kansas City?
Well, not like the World Cup, but like everyone is here, and there's a lot of energy of different people from every country, and it's like a whole other thing.
listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Great. Harris English to 11 under. After that bogey on the 11th. Yes, Mike Fitzpatrick.
Come on, do it for him. Do it for him. Do it for him. Do it for him. Oh, what an effort. What an effort. Awkward bunker shot, slightly on the hanging line. Oh, he's so excited. The drinks are on me.
The champion golfer, Scotty Scheffler.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Next Gen Male Medical. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports HQ. We are joined now by John RATHOUZ. He is a former PGA caddy and here to talk a little British Open, the Open Championship.
Yeah, man.
I apologize. Listen, I'm not doing it. It's the British Open.
Just because England lost yesterday, we don't have to rub it in. Like, chill.
No, I'm just trying to give them a little credit for anything since they peed it down their leg playing soccer yesterday. Got to make sure they acknowledge the British part.
Hey, shout out Birkdale in the nice weather. Come on, hashtag be kind.
Of the Open Championship. Listen, I don't call it Roland Garros. I call it the French Open. We're just sticking with the old names, all right?
Hey, John.
What's up, guys?
You've been around us a while. Like, would you ever imagine Ravi being so staunch and like particular? And he's very, very. He comes across as a little pretentious. What say you, JR?
I like to consider him a traditionalist.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
Semantics. Okay,
this is why we like John.
That's cool. No, I like it. That's creative, and it's less offensive.
You're just being mean for no reason. You just got here.
I just got here. I mean, who doesn't want to train kids at 6:10 in the morning? JR, like, are you bummed that the weather, like, it's pristine out there? It's sunny. It's still brown. No winds. Like, what happened to Birkdale?
Yeah. I'll tell you guys, full discretion. I have not checked the leaderboard. I have not turned on a TV.
Oh, good.
So, I'm going in this blind here. I could have got up at 3 a.m. and probably been up to speed, but I think I'm all right with it. The one thing I like about the Open Championship, I mean, you never know what's going to roll in, right? I think the forecast looks like it's going to be
literally
for pretty nice all week, but one thing I like about it is that they kind of like roll with whatever the weather has been that summer, right? So this week we're seeing a super crispy brown golf course. The last time they were here in 18 or 17, it was, green, right? And Jordan Spieth goes and wins. So I like that they don't try to like manipulate it much. So that's what we're going to get this week. And I think it'll still be a really good test.
Yeah, I mean, it's been super hot and dry in most of Europe, including Great Britain over the last few weeks. We saw that with Wimbledon last week with the courts and the way that they were playing and everything. So I do find that super interesting in terms of how it changes the course conditions. But the way that the course is seemingly going to play this year, who are you looking at that goes, hey, that actually does this guy a big favor?
Well, I think it just makes the entire field, the opportunity for a long shot to win this week. I mean, distance doesn't seem to be a huge issue this week because you're hearing guys hitting 5 irons 300 yards off the tee. Now, that also makes somebody that, can go drive greens. I heard Victor Hovland driving over a green yesterday that was 415 yards long. So, I think distance is not as much of an issue. I think players and their caddies being on their game, really good decision making off the tee, because you can lay back or you can push it forward, depending on pin locations is going to be a factor. I think good ball strikers, like pure ball strikers, being able to compress that even on that firm turf is going to be a big factor, being able to control your spin. And then I think just kind of like, I don't want to call it local knowledge, but more just like links experience, I think is going to be a key factor this week as well. So I think that can stretch the field out in a lot of different ways.
John, when you talk about caddies and sort of their role in this, is there, in your experience doing this, is there like certain weather conditions or weather types you go, hey, caddy's going to be really important here versus, hey, the player kind of has a better understanding and isn't going to need as much help? Like, is this one of those where the caddy's going to have to do a lot of heavy lifting, or is that more when the conditions are less favorable?
Yeah, probably a little bit when they're less favorable. I mean, I think you're going to get a lot of, agreements from caddies this week. I think everybody kind of understands how the course is playing. There might be some nice suggestion, hey, that pin's over here today, so let's make sure we favor this side. But I think when the wind kicks up, that's when it gets, a little bit, the players get a little bit more indecisive, and there's some opportunity for caddies to really assert themselves and make sure players are feeling confident before they go ahead and swing. But, I think there's always going to be a little bit more interaction at a higher level tournament like this. So, they'll be present, but without the wind being up and then with it already being bouncy for the first 3 days of the week, it's probably not going to be as stressful as a week as it could be on caddies if it was raining sideways and you had the umbrella and all these other different elements. So maybe, a touch of less anxiety on that side of the bag.
John, let me ask you something. With the conditions being minimal and not as many variables, obviously Scheffler comes to mind just because he's Scotty Scheffler, but are there a couple of other guys where you're thinking if it's pristine conditions, they're going to need something to go wrong to not be on their game?
Yeah, I don't know if that makes as much sense to me, or I'm not tracking with you as much on that, DB. I mean, when you talk about the top of the board, go ahead.
Yeah, without the rain, without the wind, it's kind of a talent deal. It's why they play the Super Bowl indoors, right? You get to see the best of their skill sets without the variable. Like who outside of Scheffler, who are the golfers where you're thinking, wow, with ideal conditions and balls rolling, they're going to need something else to go wrong.
Right. Yeah. So like they're gonna have to trip over a cord on the way to the tee. Yeah. No, I think Rory McIlroy looks really nice this week. I mean, you look at a guy that played well here the last time they were here. You look at a guy that played well the last time there was a Super Crispy Open Championship, which was in 2018. And then you look at a guy that, won the Masters earlier this year and would like to kind of maybe cap things off. And, I was a little down on him going into the U.S. Open because he hadn't really been playing much. It was nice to see him teed up at the Scottish last week. Him and his caddy, they're not going to be shocked by anything they see this week. So I really think Rory is a guy that could, run away with it, or a guy that should play well, all things considered. He's the one that ticks that box for me the most.
Let me ask you something. With a guy that we talk about guys, Hovland driving over off the tee. This kind of play to a guy like DeChambeau's strengths with kind of an open area, not a ton of variables. He kind of just, I don't want to say grip it and rip it. I know that's taboo, but he's just kind of a free swinger. Does it play to a guy like DeChambeau?
I can't get behind him. I don't know who was. I think Nick Faldo was really trashing DeChambeau the other day, and he likes to trash just about everybody.
Yeah, Faldo's tough.
He is tough. He is tough. The one time I caddied over that side of the pond, well, I guess I ran into Faldo a couple times. This was at the Olympics in 2016, and we're out walking the golf course. I'm with Seamus Power and Podrick Harrington, and we're playing a practice round, and up walks Nick Faldo. And I go up to him, he comes up to us saying hello, and I stick my hand out and shake his hand, hey, tell him who I am. And we're walking off the tee box, and Harrington kind of turns to me. He's like, you know what an oxygen vacuum is, John? And I was like, no. And he's like, what you just did there to Faldo, introducing yourself, he could care less about who you are. And I was like, well, my dad, told me to introduce myself like that and stuff. But he was a little bit icy, Faldo. But anyways,
you can see it. You can't get behind Bryson, huh?
I can't get behind Bryson either, just because the creativity isn't there. Like we talk about, it's downwind, right? Not much thinking, smoke a 3-wood up greenside 375, but then you're going to come back into the wind at some point, right? So I just don't think he's got the creativity to excel, over 72 holes. I could see him having a good round, and he's been off his game all year. I guess Brandel Chambly was dogging him also, kind of saying,
again, another guy that's notoriously tough.
Right. Yeah. And that Bryson's more, interested in beating up on the YouTube golfers, than he is on the actual pros. So I don't know. Bryson's not having a great year, in my opinion.
John, when you're talking about, you said you think maybe the conditions allow for a long shot to have an opportunity here. who are the guys that you look at and say, hey, maybe they do have, even if they aren't in that group of players we normally talk about winning majors or potentially winning majors, who do you look at kind of down the line that you go, hey, I actually do like this guy's creativity and his talent to have a shot of being in the mix on Sunday?
One guy that stood out to me that's, really far down the board. I mean, he's like 170 to 1, and there's a lot of them down there. You could even go to the old guys that are playing good, like Podrick and Stuart Sink that hoisted the Claret Jug before. But JT Poston jumped off the board to me for some reason. I mean, he's like 175 to 1, and he's been playing the majors better. He had a win at Jack's Place at the Memorial. Now, I mean, not a traditional links golfer, but really has been playing some good golf this summer, and I was a little shocked to see him kind of that disrespected. So I wouldn't be surprised to see JT striking the ball good, like get in the mix. So that's a real super sleeper. I mean, I think, where I'm going to land on who my winning pick in is the end is, a little bit, I don't think it's going to be a super shocking name, but in terms of like value, like, you bet Rory McIlroy at 9 to 1, versus somebody that you can maybe grab in the 40s and make some money on. That's kind of where I landed in the end. But there's a lot of nice names in that mid tier towards the top.
I'm telling you, if I'm just no revisionist history because I'm not all in on the leaderboard, but if we were having the draft, I would assume I wouldn't go 1. I know Scheffler would go 1. I was hoping to get like a 3 and be able to go back to back with the Serpentine. I know for sure I probably would have taken Fleetwood. I would have gone back to the well. I'm not sure where he is yet this morning because he started early, so he's got to be somewhere around 11, 12, 13.
He's plus 1,500. I don't know the leaderboard. I haven't looked. But
can we talk about Fleetwood though, Damon? I'm curious.
So how would you have liked that pick early?
I mean, in theory, like he's the hometown guy, right? And you want him to get over the hump. I'm curious. He had some comments at the podium earlier in the week, and both you guys can weigh in on this, but I'm just kind of curious. When you hear a player that kind of says, I get to the end of the career, and in my career, I might win a major, I might not. And he kind of spins it like that. Like, what's your thoughts on that? Like, versus a guy that says maybe just like keeps it all down. I know we want our players to be, more outspoken and tell us what they're feeling, but then also, how do you layer that with like being able to guard your ego? Do you feel like he's too open? Is he too negative? Is he never going to get it done? Like, I'm just curious what you do with Fleetwood, because I constantly want to keep having him get over the hump. And hey, this would be the dream scenario, and then I just can't get there. More and more I listen to him.
So I'm glad you asked, because I heard that, and that's one of the reasons why I was going to take him on the back of the back-to-back picks, because I think he's close to home. He feels the pressure. I thought that was his way of letting everybody else know that he's not consumed by it. So he was, not that he was letting himself off the hook, but he just wasn't going to address the question. So I was like, oh, maybe he's just trying to free himself up to go play, 4 good rounds of golf.
Yeah.
That's kind of the way that I looked at it, but maybe it's just because I want him to win too.
Right.
So I took the good piece of cheese, as you would say, or the positive spin.
I'm a big like self-awareness and transparency guy, John. So like I'm of the mind where it's like, hey, just because you don't say it out loud doesn't mean you're not going to feel it anyway, right? Like Tommy Fleetwood is going to feel whatever he expressed regardless of whether he tells us or not. I think it's better to get it out there in the open and just be honest about sort of what you're going through. Not to bring everything back to tennis, but there was a player that just
everything comes back to tennis.
Always. There was a player that just won his first major at Roland Garros, because apparently we're not saying French Open. That had a traditionalist that had acknowledged, like, hey, yeah, I choked away the U.S. Open a few years ago. Like I'm aware of that. I got tight on my serve. It didn't work out. Right. And I think that's more important than trying to put up like a brave face or a strong front or whatever. Like, internally what you're feeling regardless. I don't think it hurts to be like, hey, yeah, this is where we're at. I understand, like, it changes the trajectory of how I'm viewed. If I do end up winning a major, I'm also very aware that it might not happen at this point. And so we're just going to go out there. We're going to play the best golf that we can. And hopefully it happens at some point. But so I'm pro those types of comments, because I think I don't think it lets you off the hook, but I think it just gives you some room to breathe and say, hey, I'm aware of this situation just as much as you are. and it doesn't have to be the boogeyman in the room. We can acknowledge it's here.
Yeah, for sure. I can see the power in that.
John, so I did the mock. I felt like because we had been burned by Rom, I took him last. He had the great first round, then he disappeared. I was going to get your insights on, for such a young, talented guy, and there's no way the window's shut. But usually with golfers like that are that talented early and kind of explosive, there has to be some of this humility or this self-awareness that Ravi likes, or this come to Jesus moment. Does Rom strike you as the type of person that can be that introspective?
Oh yeah, I think so for sure. Yeah, I mean, I think
there's
he's
so much in there, and we never get it.
Yeah, I think there's the Spaniard side of him that's hard for us to relate to.
The baby El Nino?
Yeah, not. I don't know. Sergio's kind of an outlier, but like that Sevi thing, and just kind of the way that they kind of how prideful they are, but they're kind of a little bit rough. And so, but I think he's a smart guy. I think he's introspective for sure.
Because something has to change, right? You just can't keep running this back because he's not yielding the results.
Yeah, he needs to be back on the PGA Tour. That's what he needs. But I wouldn't be surprised to get him in the mix. I mean, he keeps falling incrementally down the odds.
Yeah.
Stuff. I mean, he's like 22-1. Like, even like earlier this year, he was 14, 15. So you're getting a discount on him, and he's still a high quality player. But to your point, like, we haven't quite seen it fully. He did finish second at the PGA Championship, though. He just we thought he would factor a little bit more at the US Open, and he didn't. So he's back on the other side of the pond. I think he's still playing good golf.
So, John, I got to ask you, this is not really a John Rahm question, but it made me think of it. Like, is there, obviously you've been around a lot of golfers in your time, and I think a lot of times we think of professional athletes as like, hey, the only thing they care about is winning. Like majors to them are as important as they are to us in terms of fans and media and stuff like that. But like, I almost get the sense with John Rahm, and there's other types with it. I don't think this is just a live golf thing because of all the money that was over there. But like, do you ever get the sense it's like, hey, I'm really good at this. I make a really nice living. Winning's nice, but if I finish third every time, like, this is a better life than I've ever imagined. Like, I don't care nearly as much. Like, yeah, it'd be great to win a Masters or an Open Championship. Like, are there guys out there on the tour that are just like, hey, I'm making a great living and I golf for it? Like,
oh yeah,
I don't care nearly as much about the majors and winning as you guys do.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I think the thing about it that I think it is more is that it's a little like we were talking about earlier with Fleetwood. Like, I think they realize that it takes that extra notch to be excellent, right? And sometimes you're a little fearful of how that's going to go for you. So it's easier to just kind of hang back. Like, that just shows you, I think, how special the top guys are more than it does like dog the guys that don't get in the mix as much. Like, yeah, you can make an amazing living on tour, finishing second and fifth all in top tens your whole career. And you see guys like that don't win as much. So I just think it's like, we talk about that on here. You just need to kick that extra gear. You need to kind of put yourself out there. I mean, good for Aaron Rai, and you see it every year.
Yeah.
There's, like a guy or two that's just like, F it, I'm going to go do it.
Yeah, I had him in the US Open.
I also just wonder, like, there's, I think part of it, you're right, is probably hey, we're, you're a little afraid of what it looks like. And like, hey, if I really put it out there and it doesn't work, like there's a fear factor there with, I think, certain guys. But also, like, is there a part of it where it's like, hey, it's not worth it to me? Like, in terms of like, hey, it's not that I'm afraid of it, but it's like, that's a level of, I don't want to sacrifice my style of living basically to get to that extra point.
Yeah, I think so. I think because if you go to the extra point, there's some unknowns there, and
you're sacrificing some things, right?
Yeah, your life changes to a certain degree, but it probably doesn't change as much as you think it does, right?
Okay.
So it's like that's the pro athlete thing. That's just, there's stuff that they wrestle with that it's hard for us to kind of understand. But I do think that there's some subtleties. And the money's really good, kind of no matter what. I mean, it happens at every level, right? Whether you're fighting to keep your card, or whether you're trying to get in the FedEx Cup Series, or you're trying to win a major. Like, guys kind of slot themselves in places, and you really have to dig deep to kind of jump up a rung.
Yeah, I don't know if we appreciate or we think he was just psycho, but It brings Tiger's singular focus because I'm surprised you rock with Scheffler. So Scheffler strikes me as one of those guys, John, and he doesn't come across as a guy that like loves it. And this is what he does. I think he does it because he's good at it. And you typically like, he gives me some Jokic vibes. Like you like he just plays basketball because he can, not because he's all in on it, but he just happens to be better than everybody else. Don't you? Like,
yeah, I mean, so for me, the difference between like a Scheffler and a Jokic is I don't care about golf the way I care about basketball. So that's a big part of it. If I'm just being honest, like the purity of basketball and the guys that are great at it means way more to me than it does to golf.
Okay.
So that's a huge part of it. The other part of it is I don't know that I like rock with Scheffler. I think a big part of this is I thought he got done real dirty by that whole like cop incident. And I was like, that sucks. Like he didn't do it. Like, and so I just felt for him and I kind of wanted him to succeed after that just because I thought he got, what was it, Louisville?
Yeah.
I was like, I felt like he kind of got done dirty in Kentucky. Like I was like, kind of wanted to root for him after that. But I understand your point. I think most of it for me is I care way more about what I want basketball to be than I do golf.
How many with the money you talked about, JR, the sponsorships, I always thought this was a guy like Ricky Flatbill, right? Like I'm like, I don't know why. I've been calling him that for probably double-digit years,
Dude,
John.
the flat bills drive you crazy.
Yeah.
You hate it.
And it was
What about Ropats?
Are
you in or out
the
on Ropats?
orange and the pinks? And I was like, well, he's too good looking. He has too many girlfriends to really want to be good at golf, right? Like, there's so many distractions with the sponsorship money and being able to slap a logo on. How are you not content with making a good living?
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
it's everywhere.
Some people love the game and some people love the game.
Yeah, like
You
I
know
look
what
at Dustin
Like,
Johnson. I was like, this guy could be as great as he wanted to be. He's like, I feel like we're gonna you know what I mean? It's like
my
it
life's pretty
seems to be more the case than not, but maybe it's because golf is so difficult.
Yeah, I think they're both true to themselves. Both those examples. DJ, he kind of snuck up in the mix a little bit at the U.S. Open. He's chilling at the beach with Pauline, like that's him. And Ricky Flatbill is out shooting commercials and signing autographs and still playing decent golf. I looked at his record. You know, you look at his whole record, and it's like it kind of starts really nice, and then it just starts to. There's a nice little patch in the middle at the majors, and then it gets a little bit sparser. And I just think for these guys, especially the younger ones, when you come out, you're bulletproof, and then you scar tissue. Like they talk about that in golf a lot because it's such a personal game, and you're out there you're on your own. Maybe your caddy can have an impact, but there's scar tissue. Like I'm the guy that I'm wondering that people are starting to wonder about a little bit right now that I thought you were going to drop earlier is Oberg, right?
Yeah.
Like people are wondering, like, when's he going to pop?
Somebody would have taken him in our draft.
Absolutely. If he's available, I always take him.
Yeah.
He always finishes like top 10. Like he always has a good run here, but he's like you said, you're waiting for him to pop through, win that major. Cause I think universally we think, hey, this is one of the most talented guys that we've got around here.
Yep.
Like when is it going to happen? But to your point, right? Like now at a certain point when it doesn't happen, that starts to like wear on a guy. And I think I like that you use the term scar tissue. I've heard that in other individual sports too. I'm not going to say tennis. And where like after a certain number of, I guess, rough incidences, some guys develop calluses, some guys develop scar tissue.
That's kind of why I wondered about Rom, right? He's only 31.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Is he 31 now? Damn.
Yeah, but he's got the Masters in 23 and he's got the Open in 21. And I'm actually asking myself, does he really want to win again? Like this guy, way good. That started the catalyst of the question, right?
Yeah. I think if the top skill level guys, like I think they can ebb and flow, and sometimes they get hot. And he's got 4 kids now. Like somebody had the comments about what's going on off the course. Like nobody knows.
It's like Rico over there, man.
Wyndham Clark had good comments about that. He was like, my strokes gained off the course is great right now. So that translates to good on the course. So we never know what these guys are doing off the course.
Bless his heart.
I also think it's a sport where, and obviously better than I do, but it seems like a sport where you you basically can do it as much as you feel like in terms of practicing and working on your game and things like that. Like, obviously I know it's physically taxing, right? But you're not like, it's not hockey or football where it's like, hey, you're taking hits and doing things like that. It's I think of it almost more like baseball where it's like, hey, you can be in the cage kind of as much as you want. Like, you can work on those things as much as you want. And when there's other factors in your life, you got a wife, you got kids, things like that. It's like, hey, do I want to spend 12 hours a day doing this, or however long guys are working on their games, as opposed to like, well, I can spend like 4 hours a day doing it, and then I'm going to go hang out with my family, or I'm going to go shoot some more commercials, or whatever, I'm going to go get more flat bill hats if I'm Ricky, like whatever it is. I just think it's one of the strange sports where you can sort of work on your game as much or as little as you want. And I feel like it leads to a huge variance.
Well, and it's a perfect segue to, I'll just throw a few other names at you guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, one, we talked about Oberg, and then I think Hovland is in play this week, as nice as he's starting to play, and we want him to break through. I think Bobby McIntyre is in play this week. I think he was in really nice form and kind of exerted himself with the Masters and then fell on his face. But I think that should be a lesson learned, and good play at the Scottish last week. And now he stays over there and he'll know what this firmness is like. But when you start talking about how guys approach their profession, and, I thought about a guy like Brandt Snedeker when you were just talking there, and it's like,
came and went.
He kind of came and went, but then he's back. He won just like a month ago, and how much it meant to him. So the guy that I'm keyed in on this week that I was mentioning earlier that, would be a dream story, right? And I didn't even realize that his coming out party was at this exact venue, over 25 years ago. But I just think Justin Rose, it could be his time. Now, I've said that before. I'm sure we could find clips. But and I hope he's got his irons sorted out. It seems like it is. He sticks his nose in at the majors. He knows what he wants. He's not going to be intimidated by this golf course and the little bounces, that he's got the patience. He's playing good. So I just think, for the team old guy, but still in really good form, I think he's in a nice spot this week, and we'll see how it plays out. But I'm going to say Justin Rose lifts the claret jug.
Nice.
There you go. That is our guy, John Rathouse, former PGA caddy. John, great stuff as always. We appreciate it, and enjoy the Open Championship.
You guys as well. And say what's up to my boy, Adrian Dowell. That's nice to be on the same show with him this morning. Always good to catch up with you guys.
Class act. Appreciate it, John. Thank you.
Cheers.
That is John Rathouse, former PGA caddy. Good stuff there as always. Let's take a quick break here. We will get back to more Hurrdat Sports Live right after this. If losing weight is harder than you expected, it's not just about willpower. At Next Gen Male Medical Clinic, we build a supervised plan around your body, not someone else's. Schedule a visit at nextgenmmc.com. Let's get you moving forward.
All right, Ravi, blind rank these Nebraska defensive players post-2000.
All right, let's do it.
Prince Amukamara.
Oh, man. You're killing me right off the bat here. I'm going to go 3 because I'm hoping you give me the 2 I think are ahead of him, but we're going to go 3 for Prince.
Josh Bullocks.
Josh Bullocks is good. I'm going to put him 5. Really productive, but kind of more later in his career.
Randy Gregory.
I'm going to go 4 with Randy Gregory. Only a couple years at Nebraska, but is probably the best pure pass rusher they've had in the 2000s.
Ndamukong Suh.
That's my number 1. Easy number 1. I don't even think there's explanation needed.
Levante David.
Thank you. Oh, God. I was worried that Levante wasn't going to make it, and I bumped down Prince an extra spot for no reason. Levante is my number 2. One of the best linebackers, not only in Nebraska history, but I believe going to be a Hall of Fame NFL linebacker as well.
listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DBM Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports HQ. Reminding you, give our friends over at Next Gen Mail Medical a call, 402-614-9700. I think DB and I are both stopping by over there today.
Yeah, absolutely.
Got to pick up some of our stuff.
My thing. Listen, I'm sore.
Yeah? You've been working too hard.
Finally, like, I had a false sense of security. I was going on like 3 or 4 weeks. I thought I was Superman. I mean, just doing crazy stuff. Crazy.
Yeah, they finally caught up.
One leg plyos, the stadium stairs. Like I'm flying 20s, flying 30s. I'm like, damn. And the last 2 days, I'm like,
Finally caught up with you a little bit.
Yeah, man. My hips hurt.
Need to go get more of that Hercules shot.
I don't know. I'm gonna say, hey, I'm sore.
Help me.
Yeah, HBO, man. Help a brother out.
Help me.
Like it's just a struggle, man.
I'm sure they will, though. They'll figure something out for you.
I trained the 7th grader out at Westside yesterday, and I had to go later because they did do all this stuff afterward, Social Security, like just stuff. And Cole Payton rolls in. No, actually, Adrian Martinez was first.
Was he came up first?
So he had all this material, and I could see him down because we were doing these. We were on the other end, and so AM shows up. I'm like, hey, man, what are you doing? So, my wife and I were out in Gretna getting some workout in with Cole Payton. And I was like, oh, yeah. I said, Cole is here.
All the time?
Like, all the time.
Yeah.
Like, a couple weeks ago, Hurts wanted to get some guys together to throw down in Orlando. I think I told you this. It was like an 11:40 flight, and Cole is getting a workout in before...
Before the flight.
It's 7:10.
Yeah.
And I mean, but you look at him and he's just like pot committed. And then right after that, my man Sam Scott showed up, who I had at North. Then during COVID, when they weren't playing, he transferred to Scott. Big, strong guy who didn't get an opportunity in the league his first year out of Wyoming, but he stayed with it.
Yeah.
And the Jets signed him this offseason.
There you go.
Like you don't see
that a ton.
Not a ton.
No.
And he looked like $1 million. So and we don't have him this week because we just talked to him, but guess who was doing the interview?
Our guy Mitch Sherman.
I'm like, hey, what are you doing with your microphone or your recorder in front of those guys? I mean, Mitch is always working.
It's
98 degrees out. It's 12:50.
Yeah.
There's 6 people on the field, and Mitch is out here working. I said, bless your heart. I did ask him, though, if he was getting hives being at Westside.
Well, listen,
he said, no, I'm good. I can handle this.
I know you got the Gretna Westside beef. You got to be careful out there.
We love everybody.
Everybody love everybody?
Everybody loves everybody.
We'll be talking to Brian Edwards here in just a few minutes.
I love Caleb Wilson. I wish he wasn't a Bull.
Out of the teams that are bad, I'm okay with the Bulls.
Because of DeMarinis?
No, because I still have a little bit of affinity from my Jordan days.
You can't do that.
Why not? I can kind of do whatever I want.
God, like this sports fandom thing is crazy.
There's certain franchises that I just like inherently don't like, and the Bulls aren't one of them, so I'm fine with it. Like I don't know. Trying to think here.
Dallas.
Like the Cowboys?
Yeah.
Yeah, don't like the Cowboys.
You're not a Yankees guy.
I don't like the Seahawks. Yankees, obviously. But
how the Seahawks going to do with a 30-year-old offensive coordinator who was a tight ends coach that's never called plays before?
Oh, I don't know.
Now he is familiar with Sam Darnold because he's a San Francisco guy.
How are they going to do without Kenneth Walker, who was pretty good last year?
Yeah, the Niners or the Chiefs are figuring out he's pretty good.
Yeah,
but they have a nice stable. Chiefs have a sleeper back, and it's not Emmett. I like Emmett, and they like Emmett. But the DeMarcado guy is you watch.
Oh yeah. But no, I'm trying to think.
Nice little pickup.
What other?
Listen, I'm not really gatekeeping KJ. I mean, kind of. A little. That's fine.
No, I'm trying to think of other NBA teams I just inherently don't like. That
would be the Celtics for me, the Knicks.
I'm talking about like 70s, non-rivals though.
The 70s. Oh, like
just randos that you're just I don't like them.
So this is amazing because I'm cheering for them to have a good season. I've never liked the Jazz.
Yeah, Jazz are on there.
I don't know if it was the Hornacek Stockton Malone thing.
A lot of it was Stockton for me. He's one of the dirtiest players in league history.
And I couldn't stand Karl Malone.
Yeah, I still don't like Karl Malone for a plethora of reasons.
Anyone rock with Karl Malone?
I don't know, man. I don't really like Miami. Like Miami always the Heat. They always hit me wrong. I don't like the Sixers.
So the Heat are different than the Heat we kind of grew up with.
Yeah,
as the expansion franchise.
Yeah,
I mean they still look offensively challenged sometimes, but
almost always. Yeah, I remember like the Pat Riley Heat teams that were just hard to watch.
Yeah, it's like if you were good on offense, they didn't want you.
Yeah, it's like no, absolutely not. Can you throw a rock into an ocean? Get stepping out of here. That's why Glenn Rice was only there for a couple minutes. He's like, well, we gotta get out of here. He shoots the ball too much. That's why they like Alonzo Mourning. They're like, this is our guy.
Yeah, I can't remember ever cheering for anybody from Georgetown outside of Iverson. I didn't like Reggie Williams. I don't like Patrick Ewing.
You seem like a big Roy Hibbert guy.
No,
I'm just kidding.
Roy Hibbert's exceptionally volatile too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like people tell locker room stories about Roy Hibbert.
I'm trying to think of I don't like the Giants in not baseball, in football. I just have never liked the Giants. They strike me wrong. I don't like the Eagles.
So the Giants doesn't have anything to do with like Jim Burt or hitting Montana.
No, so Montana is like really pre my fandom.
Okay.
Like I appreciate him historically, but my first 49ers memories are Steve Young. So like that stuff is kind of before anything I care about. It's like I don't hate the Mets because of Buckner. Like it was just before me. Like it doesn't hit on my radar at all. But I just don't like the Giants.
Yeah.
I honestly, a lot of it's Eli. And I don't mind Eli as a person, but as a quarterback, he drove me crazy. And I also thought I thought the whole David Tyree thing, I was like, that's bullshit. You shouldn't have won that Super Bowl. Like, I don't know, like blow the whistle. You had Eli Manning, like he was sacked. And if he throws him to the ground, you're going to blow a whistle on him for roughing the quarterback. And if you don't blow the whistle to blow the play dead, then he gets to do weird stuff like that. Like, I don't know if there's
an NFL team that I irrationally dislike that isn't somehow
that isn't a rival
related to Pittsburgh.
Seattle's definitely a 49ers thing, obviously. Like I just, from the Richard Sherman, Legion of Boom days, like mid 2010s, like I hate Seattle for that. I don't mind the Rams, even though they're kind of a nemesis now. Like I like Stafford.
So the little guy Palmer that I train is a huge Rams fan.
Yeah.
So while we're warming up and stuff, the first 5 minutes is always going to be
just chopping it up.
Rams talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's all in.
I really like
Coach
Stafford.
Level, our QB coach.
Yeah.
Huge Rams guy.
I really like Stafford in Detroit. I still like him now. I like McVay. Like, so I don't have a problem with the Rams, even though they are kind of a pain in the 49ers ass right now. And have been for a little while.
Yeah, McVay really flipped that script with Shanny.
He did because Shanahan just owned him for a hot minute there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I still don't like, even that's a team I probably should.
That's an easy one, Todd. I think non-Patriots fans.
I don't have any animosity towards the Patriots at all.
Just weird.
I just don't. I know I appreciated Brady in real time as
Maybe
like
that's because you have some Boston personality traits in you.
Well, and I like the Red Sox, so I don't know if that's. I mean, you're just saying I'm kind of a dick.
I mean, guys.
I don't know. I appreciated Brady in real time. I thought that 2007 team was a lot of fun to watch. Like, I just don't have, and they never were like in conflict with the 49ers. So I just didn't care.
I got one.
Who's that?
Washington.
Oh, the Commanders.
Just pretty irrational dislike. I've never liked their uniforms.
Sure.
And I struggled because I'm a huge Sean Taylor guy.
Oh yeah. You love all those Miami guys.
I mean, that's not all of them. It's probably 10, maybe.
An unreasonable amount of them.
Yeah, for them to have been a thorn on our side. Yeah,
you do like an unreasonable
Mike
amount.
and I were talking about it in the car yesterday. We were just talking about, he just feels like he's a big historian.
Yeah.
McGahee gets no love. And I was like, is this candid camera? I said, do you know how much your dad likes McGahee?
Not as much as he likes Clint Portis.
Yeah.
Not as much as he likes Edgerrin James.
Yeah, that's just fascinating. I was trying to. People were asking me about Tyke, and Penn State and kind of his running style and what the history was, and that style. It kind of fits my eye.
Hazes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It now it's a little choppy and jumpy.
He's not a big guy.
And he's kind of a squatty body.
Yeah, he was like 5'10", 210, something like that, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
He's a little.
Now, I mean, look, I'm right around there too. So what am I saying? But just kind of the running style.
Yeah.
There's been all this talk and conversations about historic backs and great backs and Nebraska backs. And I was on 3, and they're going through this top list of running backs. And I'm like, I think I just kind of always have my own list because
You're way more stylistic than you are.
And I know how the guys that coached them think. So it kind of influences me a little. And I got to see him close.
You've brought this up with Amon Green before, right? You're like, hey, Amon got really good at running like a couple different things. And so he was able to thrive because that's basically all they called for him. Right. And he was awesome at those things.
Yeah, I think AG would probably tell you he ran like the same 5 plays.
Yeah.
4.
And so
He's very good at those.
There's a difference between, hey, I got really good at a few things versus
he made it. I'm telling you, for his talent, for his athletic attributes, great size and speed, he made himself a good runner.
Yeah.
He made himself a good runner.
He wasn't like a natural.
He's not a natural. He
runner.
worked at it.
Yeah.
He worked at it. He was a long strider, so it's hard for him to make move. And
he got a kind of a slow start in the NFL.
He worked his ass off. It's good to be blessed, right?
Sure, yeah. You're starting with a decent template,
but he made himself a good runner.
There's a lot of guys that are less physically gifted that were better natural runners.
Yeah.
Than
like Ken Clark's going to always be in my top 5, 6 because I know that's how the guys that coached him think.
Yeah.
Ask Coach Solich about a guy like Ken Clark. Ask Coach Solich about a guy like Doug DuBose or LP or Mike, right? You just talk naturally gifted runners, like when they get out of bed, it's like those guys were born to carry a football.
For our kind of era or more recent era,
it's tough.
I think of like an Amir as like a natural runner.
See, I think he made himself a good runner.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I have to be careful how I word it because it's zero disrespect because I'm very much an Amir fan, but he works at his game. And I'm not to say you can't work, but when we're just talking about like a natural runner, people thought he was going to be a DB.
Yeah.
Right? Like Amir's like his best traits, he can catch a football. He's got really good contact balance where he's very hard to knock off. His balance is elite.
Yeah.
Amir's contact balance belongs in the, Rozier is 1 with contact balance. 1A is probably Ken Clark or Derek Brown. But I wouldn't arm wrestle you if you wanted to throw Amir in that group
under Rozier.
Yeah. Right.
Maybe that's why I think that because contact balance is one of my favorites.
Emmett is right there, but still a slight notch to Amir with actually getting hit.
Sure.
EJ would make you miss.
Yeah.
He took very few good shots.
Yeah, you didn't line him
I
up.
don't give him the contact. Like, this is just a running back that stayed this a long time, getting into the nuances.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm very particular about contact balance because contact balance is contact.
It's one of my favorite traits of a running
EJ
back.
was elusive, like Corey Ross, like make you miss
and not square him up.
and super small spaces.
Yeah.
So I think there's a difference there. Now, vision is altogether something.
Yeah, it's a whole other thing. Real quick before we get to Brian Edwards here, I don't
even know I went down this rabbit hole. I'm sorry.
I don't think I've ever asked you this before, but I am curious because I find it really interesting to talk to former athletes and see how they view themselves. You have a very particular style of running back you like, right? You know exactly what you're looking for and what you want it to look like.
Yep.
Was your style fit your eye?
No.
Okay.
No.
Because I find it's usually one of two things. Either your style is the style you end up liking, or you go polar opposite.
Now, one thing I would say that balance was a thing. I think better than average contact balance, but like I'm an inside runner, right? Like if I'm seeing that crease, I'm telling you, I'm through it.
Yeah.
Like I'm not real hesitant.
Not dancing.
No. Like, and I'm gaining ground. So, but it's not because I didn't have confidence in like one-legged cuts.
You're a jump cut.
So I was very much a 2-foot plant guy, kind of make you miss. I would love to have been a full speed one, like bow,
foot in the ground, gone.
Yeah, like I can do the drills now because I've done them for so long. But I naturally, it's not what I did.
Interesting. All right, let's take a quick break here. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. We've got Brian Edwards coming up next here on Hurrdat Sports Live.
Are you feeling off, low energy, or asleep? At Next Gen Male Medical, we not only evaluate your testosterone, but overall health. Schedule a visit at nextgenmmc.com. Together, we'll get you back on your game.
Makes wrestling a wrestling room, a mat, whatever, a sanctuary, if you will, like a place where just everything kind of comes together for you. What makes it that place?
Yeah, I'd say what makes it a sanctuary, in a sense, is like the struggle, and then just like the I don't know, like I'm trying to think of the right words to say, but it's just like the struggle and then like the challenge, right? For me, like that's sanctuary of like a challenge. Like I don't, of course, you know, easy things are nice sometimes, but I really do enjoy like a challenge. So for me, like that brings me a sense of peace. And when I overcome that challenge, right, that's growth. And again, I think it sets a good example. I've seen other people set that example, right? The people who are able to struggle and overcome it, there's just something, you can just feel their energy type of thing. And I think that's what we should all kind of strive for, that example.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports HQ. We are joined now by Brian Edwards from Major Wager. B, how are we doing this morning?
Good morning. What's happening?
Oh, you've been a busy boy, man. Coming up with some power rankings, man. We'll get to the specifics, but compared to normal years, how difficult was it for you to parse through like 5 through 12 or 5 through 15, the meat?
Yeah, that's where it was most time consuming for me. I would probably say more like 8 through 18.
Okay. So your top 7, you locked in pretty good. Would you fight over the order?
Well, I got asked a couple of questions yesterday on the order, and I was able to come up with some in other words, challenge me on whatever, and I had pretty good quick hit remarks on why. And there's not a whole lot of room for separation. In other words, I'm not going to make Notre Dame
real quick. I'm gonna send it to AJ, and he can put it up real time. But I want to start with Indiana that high. You apparently are high on Hoover. You love Cignetti. His two coordinators are outstanding, so they get the benefit of the doubt. Start with Indiana at 2 because I think that will be higher than anybody in the country will have the Hoosiers.
Definitely Cignetti is a factor. I would definitely say that my hesitancy or my I will allow pushback is that no, I'm not necessarily sold on Hoover, but I just I know he's got big time talent, maybe a little tad too turnover prone, but I think that Cignetti will help that and the parks around him. I mean, you look at Phil Steele's national unit rankings, which I always say is not the end all be all, but he's got number 3 O-line, number 11 wide receiver. He's only got him 43 running back, but I think they're going to be okay. I think they're fine at running back. And so I would really say Cignetti. And, they bring a decent chunk back in number 8 transfer specific class. They got 6 4-star transfers. But, yeah, Cignetti would be my main thing is what I would say to that.
When you're looking at Notre Dame, obviously CJ Carr gets a lot of the love there. They've stumbled early each of the last couple seasons, though. Where are you getting the confidence to put Notre Dame number 1 on that list?
Well, I just think they were fantastic last year. I mean, they lose Carr's, collegiate debut. They lose by 3 at Miami. That's the eventual runner-up. And they lose by 1. So, they had 2 games that they lost by 4 combined points. And then I know the schedule was not, tough the rest of the way. They only played 2 ranked teams, and that was number 20 USC and 23 Pitt. But they won by double digits the rest of the way. Obviously, they lost 2 great running backs, but I think they feel good about their running back room. And the wide receiver group is probably the position of the most concern. But I think defensively, they gave up 17.6 points per game, and they bring back 9 starters. They had the number 11 transfer specific class. I'm not like saying their schedule's the easiest, and that's why I'm saying I'd make them favored on a neutral field over everybody right now. And I don't know. I feel pretty good about them at number 1.
And the schedule is super favorable. I think I've said this since probably January. I would make Georgia 1. Right. So you've got them at 3. I got no problems with that. Elite level linebacking core. They will be fantastic with their defensive depth. I'm going to say this now. I think Stockton will have the biggest I didn't see that coming year. He was so good in the second half of last year. He has to have silenced the Bobo critics, right? Like Gunnar Stockton played well in Athens last year.
Yeah, I mean, and not just the back half. I mean, let's not forget they're down 8 at Tennessee with less than 3 minutes left. And on 4th and 6, he had the stones to go deep and throw a perfect deep ball for a touchdown. And then they had to get the 2-point conversion, which they did. And then Tennessee misses the field goal at the end of regulation. They win in overtime. The game against Alabama wasn't really on him, I didn't think. I mean, he didn't have a great stat game, but they just couldn't run the football that well that game. And I thought he was really good. I mean, you're right. He did play fantastic the back half of the year. But I thought he was pretty darn good all year long.
Mm-hmm.
And their wide receiver room, kind of like Notre Dame, is really the only position group that I feel is a bit of concern. They're top 9 at every other position group in Phil Steele's national unit rankings, only 35th at wide receiver, but they've got multiple tight ends that are going to play in the NFL. So I think they'll be okay at receiver. Not great, but.
All right, B, I got to ask you, you went all the way to 50 on your list, which I appreciate here. You've got Nebraska at 33, which if I take the coaches poll from last year and count out the receiving votes, 33 at the end of the year would have been Iowa State at 8-4. That is, at least locally, on the higher end of what people are prognosticating at this point. What do you like about Nebraska going into this year?
Well, I like Calandria. I mean, I had a lot of late night action on UNLV last year, and he was the Mountain West Offensive Player of the Year. I think he's good. Phil Steele's national unit rankings: Nebraska 43 QB, 21 receiver, 22 O line, 37 D line, 24 linebacker, 15 secondary, 22 special teams. So I mean, pretty good all across the board. Number 31 transfer specific class. Got a couple of 4-star transfers coming in. I think Nebraska's going to be pretty good. The schedule, I've got them 4-4 with 4 swing games. Yeah, I think 30, what I have, 33?
33.
Yeah.
I think it's about right. You're saying that's higher than most? Let's see what Phil Steele.
I think that's about right.
I think locally, the way fans, I'm saying not experts necessarily. I think a lot of fans are more pessimistic about the season than 33. That's why
maybe that's more of the schedule, don't you think?
I think people
that's
get
what we do every year.
Freaked out by they think
whether they think it's weak or it's tough. Like we dictate how we feel on the schedule. Right. At some point, it's got to be about the team.
Phil Steele's got 32. Got you guys at 32 in his power rankings.
Let me ask you about a controversial one.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I bet. Can I guess where you're going?
Yeah.
UCLA 30?
No, but that is low. I'll get to them. I'll get to them in a second.
Your
Because
former cohort, Michael Severe, actually hit me up on the Twitter about that.
They're low. They're coming. I'll give you one I think is a little more controversial though. LSU at 11.
Yeah.
It seems to me high.
Oh wait, you think they should be like 15?
Or lower. Like 11 is.
Wow, I feel like
Levitt hasn't done much yet.
Right. Come on now, you got them in CFP. Although you're giving
not a lot of homegrown. But here's the tricky thing: look at their schedule.
Well, I'm trying not to look at schedules when I make these because I'm not forecasting where they're going to finish.
They got a lot of moving. They got a lot. No, I get it. That's fair. They have a lot of moving parts. I think some people could see LSU with 7 or 8 wins. I mean,
Levitt got cleared a couple weeks ago. He didn't have the spring to develop chemistry with his new teammates, and I do think that's concerning. Phil Steele's only got him 7th in the SEC. So, I mean, I hear you, but
that's about right. Like now, I think that's about right.
Right. And let's see where you have them in the power rankings.
They have a couple real tough stretches. So they
have 2 of them.
Yeah, so they open Clemson, Louisiana Tech, at Ole Miss, Texas A&M. That's 3 out of 4, pretty tough stretch. Then they get McNeese at Kentucky against
Mississippi State. So they have a little 3-game breather there.
And then they go at Auburn, Alabama, Texas, at Tennessee, at Arkansas. Like their open and close of the season are rough.
Yeah. And I mean, they could be 2-2 in September, but I've got them beating A&M at home, but losing at Ole Miss. I think they're going to get clipped either at Auburn or at Tennessee. I think they're going to lose one of those. They're -1.5 at Tennessee in DraftKings games of the year. There's no line for Auburn. They're +3 at home to Texas. They're -4 at home to Bama. I just think Kiffin, with the #1 transfer-specific class and the #1 overall class, recruiting-wise, he has shown that he takes all these pieces that, there's no chemistry. They're all new to each other, and he's shown he can get that chemistry going, and they can have a big year. I've got them 6-2 with 4 swing games. I just think they're loaded with talent.
Interesting stretch here. 15, 16, 17, 20.
All Big Ten.
Washington, SC, Michigan, Iowa. Is that how you feel about them? If I just said at first blush, slot them in the conference.
Oh, how they'll finish? Not necessarily. I just really like this Washington team. And actually, I think the schedule works for them. I think Washington's going to be really good. I mean, look at their schedule.
O-line coming back. I think I loved Williams last year. I don't know. about the psyche this year?
After flirting with going elsewhere.
I mean,
Ac-
not
actually
flirting.
being
He
paid.
got sued to come back.
Yeah.
I mean, and then the report comes out that the reason he wanted to leave is because somebody else had $2 million extra for him. If I'm a 21-year-old, 22, however old he is, and I get forced to stay at a place that cost me $2 million, I'm not gonna lie to you, B. I'm not mature enough to get over that.
I totally get that. I thought where David was maybe going with how his teammates reacted to that. If I'm a teammate, I'm like, bro, I would have gone and got that back too.
That might be a thing too.
Right, but I mean, I think they should be. Well, have y'all read anything about how that's gone over? Because I haven't.
Well, I'm taking it on its surface of a guy that wanted to leave, got money, then they're going to sue him, then he has to come back.
So I don't think his teammates should really be mad at him. I would understand if I was a teammate. Wouldn't you guys?
You mean like if you're here but you don't really want to be here?
So I mean, I think I understand him wanting to leave, but it is the hey, this guy didn't want to ride with us.
Do you want to be with us?
Like that's the hard part.
Right, but I mean, if I'm a teammate, if I'm one of his best wide receivers, I'd be like, I'd have taken the bag too, bro. But now you're here, so yeah, that's interesting. I'm going to do a little research on that. Let's see if there's much been reported about how he and his teammates have mended fences, if you will.
That's I think that'll be I think that's the biggest variable for Washington.
Listen,
without a doubt.
okay, so if you're looking for, as you're putting your list together and you see the rankings, you have a Big Ten team that you like coming out of the top 5 or 6 slots, because there may not be much consensus of the pundits between like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Like people may put those in a bag and
shake it up
kind
and see what comes out.
of shake them up. Is there somebody you like in that group where you're like, I would have thought you'd have said UCLA, but they're way down there at 30, which I kind of don't get. You can get to that in a sec, but
what were you? You're like UCLA top 20?
Relative to where the other teams are in the Big Ten and your poll, they're too far apart. There isn't. I don't know if there's a 10-spot difference between Iowa and UCLA right now.
That's fair.
I could see UCLA beating USC. So I mean, because they've done it 2 out of the last 5 years anyway. But I don't think the talent gap is. UCLA's got a lot of good players.
Well, Ravi will tell you why I've got Oregon behind Ohio State and Indiana, because me and Ravi agree on this.
Okay, so it's Dante Moore?
Yeah.
Okay.
Austin talked about this yesterday. There were some big games last year where
listen,
Dante Moore did not look like you need Dante Moore to look like.
And I'm with you. I'm not on I don't honk for Dante Moore. I don't.
Me and Ravi got to see Dante Moore put a 2-minute drive together when they're down by 4.
The draft talk. He's good. He's a good player.
Yes.
Good player for sure.
But I mean, I didn't.
A lot of his gaudy numbers came against god awful competition. God awful competition.
And what did he do against Indiana at home in the second half? Not a whole lot.
Yeah, he went to bed.
Picks.
Threw the other team.
Yeah, there were, and I mean, we remember we had this conversation with DeMarinis when they're playing Oklahoma State last year, and he's like, "Oh, Dante Moore again." I was like, "This is the worst team in power conference football." I don't know what, what you want me to tell you.
It was also in the same text strand a couple of weeks after I'm doing a broadcast real time, and these guys are going back and forth, and Ravi goes, "It's been 2 hours and 20 minutes of real life time since Dante Moore's completed a pass." They were playing Iowa. And I had to look afterwards, and I was like, "Damn, I think that's about right."
It's right. It was over 2 hours.
I get it. So, is there a quarterback? How do you feel about CJ Carr?
I love CJ Carr.
Okay. How do you feel about Nico? Iamaleava.
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. He's gonna have better parts. I know you're talking about.
Baby, I got it.
He's gonna have better parts around him this year, I think, and that's gonna help.
Without saying.
Wait, say that again, right?
How do you feel about Julian Sane?
About the same as Dante Moore, maybe a little bit better.
That's kind of where I'm at.
That's the thing.
That's kind of
with
where
him.
I'm at. Yeah.
Okay, let me give you another one.
What about Arch?
Oh, I love Arch. I mean, no, Arch had some bad games last year, but the last few games, I think really the light turned on.
Arch caught a heater.
He played well.
He caught a big time heater late in the
They
year.
were throwing the ball downfield. I was like, damn.
So Arch to me is in the Lenora Sellers category from last year, where it's like, hey, last third of the season looked really good. Now I'm in wait and see mode. I'm not assuming anything with Arch, but I could see how he has a really good year. But I could also see how he has a year like Lenora Sellers had last year. Now, his advantage is he's got way more talent around him than Sellers did. So that's going to help kind of buoy his floor a little bit. But I'm not so far in on Arch that's like, hey, those last 4 games of the season or whatever, when he started playing really well, maybe five, that I'm like, okay, now we know he's the guy. Like, he's still relatively inexperienced, and as many of his starts have been lackluster as there have been good. So I'm not all the way in yet.
I think Cam Coleman's going to help him a lot when he's under pressure and he knows he can just throw it up to that 6'5" guy and let him go get it. And look, he's got 2 stud running backs behind him. He's still got. I mean, his
talent helps him a lot. His talent helps him a lot.
B, let me ask you something, and maybe this is team specific, because one of these guys is getting killed, and the other guy gets a lot of love, even though against Miami, he looked pretty pedestrian. How do you feel about Marcel Reed versus Bryce Underwood?
Ooh, that's a pretty good comp. Wow, I'm interested to see Underwood's jump. How big a jump he makes freshman to sophomore year. Obviously, Reed was better last year.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of like Reed because I like betting his rushing yards, props, overs, which has nothing to do with, which has absolutely zero to do with my eval of him as a quarterback. I mean, obviously he looked terrible against Texas and Miami, but Miami, you got to put a lot of that on the D-line, just kicking their O-line's ass. He was running for his life that game, but then he threw the interception.
I don't trust him to play catch. I don't trust him to play catch against good teams.
I agree. Okay, I agree. But I like him to run the rock when he wants to.
Sure. But I mean, it's the same argument for Underwood, but I think to DB's point, we don't talk about them the same way, even though I think they're in very similar positions, right?
I like the comp. I mean, I want to see Underwood play some this year and see how improved he is before.
Because he certainly is not getting the benefit of the doubt.
No, I want to see him with Beck as his OC. That's what I want to see.
Oh, and back to the Lenora Sellers. I think Kendall Briles' hire for him is very good, especially when you're talking about Mike Shula last year, which was an awful hire by Beamer. But Briles' hire I like for Sellers a lot.
Let me ask you, last one from me here. Ole Miss. Okay, you've got him at 8. I assume that's pretty Trinidad Chambliss heavy in terms of
and Lacey
and Kwan Lacey. Yeah. Here is the middle of their schedule: LSU, at Florida, at Vanderbilt, Missouri, at Texas, Auburn, Georgia, at Oklahoma. That's a gauntlet.
Yeah.
Like they could be a pretty good team. We also forget that Trinidad Chambliss benefited from one of the best offensive minds in college football last year.
And you talk about catching a heater.
Yeah. That is that middle 8 games of the season. I get that you get a bye week between Florida and Vandy, but my God, that's got to be as rough of an 8-game consecutive stretch as anybody has in the country.
Yeah. Look, I think they lose at Florida, at Texas, and at Oklahoma, but I think they win against LSU. And that's just the most vintage letdown scenario you can get going to the Swamp, especially if it's an afternoon game in late September, because that's like late August everywhere else and the humidity of Gainesville. And the week after such an emotional game against LSU, I think they lose that. I mean, Missouri and Auburn are not easy games, but they get them at home.
Auburn's going to ruin a couple teams' seasons.
I'm just saying they're losing
Auburn.
They're losing one of either LSU. Probably, I would say they would lose 2 of the 3 between LSU, Auburn, and Georgia. I think they lose 2 of those.
Some
games.
people are going to take a cat nap, hit the late snooze on Auburn, and they're going to take an L.
So I like where they get Georgia, because they get Georgia coming off the Florida game, which, even though Georgia's clearly the superior program over Florida in recent years. We should have beat them the last 2 years, and that's still a monster rivalry game. And it's in Atlanta. I don't know if that, but I think so. Georgia played Florida the week before Ole Miss 2 years ago when they went to Ole Miss and got beat 28-10. So it's in the same spot, schedule wise.
We can do this off air if you want. I'll make a bet with you right now that Georgia beats Ole Miss.
Well, you got to give me 4.5 points because that's the spread at DraftKings.
We can discuss on DMs. That's our guy Brian Edwards from Major Wager B. Appreciate the time as always, and we'll talk to you next week. Okay?
Always good, B. We appreciate you. You got it.
We'll be right back with Michael BRUNTZ, Husker 24/7, right after this.
Feeling tired? Foggy? Just off? At NextGen Male Medical Clinic, we offer hormone evaluations, peptides, supervised weight management for men and women. Most insurance accepted. Schedule a visit at nextgenmmc.com.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Next Gen Male Medical. That's DBM Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports HQ. We're joined now by Michael BRUNTZ, Husker 24/7. BRUNTZ, what's going on, buddy? How we doing?
Not much. How are you guys?
BRUNTZ, how late were we versus when you were ready to log in?
Oh, not too bad. I was just fussing around doing things, so no worries.
Fussing around. Oh, BRUNTZ, fussing around. What, I'm just gonna ask, what is fussing around? You just kind of like picking up stuff, putting away stuff, couple of extra keyboard strokes. Like, what's fussing around?
Yeah, water and stuff in the yard, that kind of thing.
What are you growing?
Just plants. Nothing. No, I'm not like nothing edible over here, unfortunately. So.
Do you have a?
I'm staying away from the lettuce, though.
I do prefer edible plants, like vegetables.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
BRUNTZ, what's your go-to flowers or plants? One has.
I know nothing about them. I just water them. I don't plant them. I don't. I know nothing about them. So I just water. That's all I do.
Just keep watering the bamboo.
I'm the grounds crew.
Yeah, it's crucial too with no precip coming.
Yeah, no, it's we're fighting a battle over here that I don't think we're going to ultimately win. So that's where we're at.
One of my neighbors is going out of town, and he's hired Micah to do the watering.
Ooh, that's a lot of responsibility.
It is, but he paid him cash up front, and I was like,
I want to wait till you see the condition of the plants.
Well, number one, but number two, I'd have done that. I mean, that at least give me the five guys 3 times. I think.
Yeah. No, that's a lot of pressure for a young man being in charge of the. How long's he overseeing everything?
So this is yesterday, today, and tomorrow.
Okay, that's like if you get into like a week, that's a full-time job.
So my wife was out of town for almost 2 weeks, and she has like a huge garden.
Yeah.
She's growing like tomatoes and
Yeah, that's-
watermelons
yeah.
and all sorts of stuff. And she trusted me so little to water the plants. She tried to hire her sisters to come over. I was like, I live here. I can do it. Like, it's fine.
She's like, yeah, no, you can't.
But I did. They're alive. The tomatoes are thriving. You know, put a little feather in my cap. I was like, hey, yeah, you didn't believe me, and I got this.
It's a fine line between killing everything and then being able to thump your chest about how great things look.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know, man. I get that's where veggies come from, and I shouldn't be all worried, but we got a couple cucumbers that were pulled, and they need a shot, man. It's like, I'm not eating those. They're just extra curvy. You're looking at me like I'm crazy. Like,
no, I thought that's
they
what
look
you
like
meant, and that's
C's, and I was like,
I didn't know where that was going.
I did, and I was
sprayed with something first, or something like.
unfortunately correct.
I don't know. Somebody's inevitably going to say, "BRUNTZ, where do you think vegetables come from?" And I was like, I don't know. There's usually a pit stop of what happens between the time they get to the grocery store.
You're like, I want to see them after they've gone through all this.
I just can't imagine washing off a strawberry and biting into it. Like, I don't know what I think happens.
Like straight from the field?
Any other time?
Yeah.
But I struggle.
You got to wash your produce, even though it comes from the store. Don't forget that.
I don't play. I wash my chicken. I wash just about everything.
That's right. That's right. I forgot about that. Sorry.
Do you think it's safer? Like, do you think I'm talking about the parasite here now. You think it's like the homegrown stuff is probably safer? Yeah or no?
You'd think.
I would guess so.
That's what farm to table people tell you.
I don't know where the parasite's coming from, but I assume if it's not interacting with other people's stuff, I got a better chance.
Why are we using explosive too as the? There's got to be as
the descriptor.
Get a thesaurus out. Let's get something better than that.
Sorry. All right, BRUNTZ. What do we make of the running back room now that we are now writing? Tyke, my man Tyke Hayes. What are we doing with that running back room?
It's another guy that's got a little FBS experience. He's been through a program already. I don't know. I don't know that we're in a place to make a lot of prognostications about what he's going to bring to the table. Obviously was well regarded as a recruit. I think, just knowing the running back situation at Penn State, not surprising that the carries weren't really there last year, given the production that they had and the guys that they had in front of him. So, I don't know. We'll see. I think having another guy in that room probably helps just for competition, because when you just kind of go down the line, the depth is there's just not a lot of bodies there. So if you have an opportunity to bring somebody like that in and it makes sense for everybody, why not? So I don't know. I think if you went back to January and had somebody with that profile that was being brought in, I would think that makes a lot of sense. And I think it, makes sense now too, kind of given where we're at in the calendar. And I think also just, that there's not a ton of experience there. So why not, add another guy to the mix that you feel like has some talent?
BRUNTZ, the time of the calendar, I think, is what is maybe giving some people pause. Not only the fact that we're in July, but also the timing with the Mekhi Nelson situation, even though it's been reported that there won't be any charges filed there or that they were dropped. Do you when you're looking at this situation, do you think, hey, maybe a little cause for concern that they felt the need to bring in a running back at this point, or just, hey, there was an opportunity to bring in a guy that had a pretty high profile coming out of high school, let's just give this a shot?
Yeah, it's interesting, kind of hearing about his spring, and reading about, the way it was covered from people at Penn State. Nobody knew where he was. The initial kind of identifier that he was at Iowa Western was he was like tagged in an Instagram post by somebody else. And then the huddle highlight label changed. And so, I don't know, if that played a factor into just kind of how, things went with him, but I thought that was kind of interesting going back through some of the reporting from the spring and just kind of where he ended up. Cause I think there was a lot of intrigue about, what was going to happen to him up there. I guess I'd probably also want to hear from the coaching staff a little bit too of like, was this just an opportunity? I mean, do they feel like they needed to add it? Was it a matter of, adding the right guy? I don't know. I think there was also always kind of also the, just kind of keeping an eye on what's out there this spring, and kind of seeing what could potentially help Nebraska. So, timing wise, Nebraska's actually had some decent success bringing guys in the summer like this before, but is he immediately going to, work his way into the top three? I would be very surprised. But I do think having somebody that can kind of go through the program, get comfortable with things and have around, and kind of fits the profile, I think a little bit more of a, what you think of like a Big Ten back with the size that he is. I mean, I think that's an okay thing.
I was just joking with a buddy, our mutual friend. Like you look at his picture, like just his mugshot, or not his mugshot, with just
his profile picture?
his profile pic, and you're like, ooh, probably a big, just 230-pound guy.
Yeah.
But then you look at him, you watch him run. I get it. He's compact and he's a squatty body, but I think for Nebraska, BRUNTZ, anytime the dollars make sense for a talent acquisition, they're probably going to kick the tires.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's maybe where the time of year plays into it a little bit too, right? Like like you said, that the price is right. Everybody's maybe looking at what opportunities are out there.
It's a bargain, right?
Yeah.
Because the need is greater on one end than the other.
Yeah, for sure. And I don't think that he was kind of the only junior college running back that they were kind of keeping tabs on either. Like I think that's, I think that's, I feel somewhat confident saying that. So, yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. Like you get to this time, or even in June, or even in May. I mean, like that's where, the math. You're right, Damon. The math kind of changes a little bit, where guys are looking for landing spots.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe the requirements to get to a landing spot maybe aren't as hard and fast as they were back in January.
BRUNTZ, as you're looking through, we've starting to get all these preseason magazines, and we're starting to get rankings out and position groups and things like that. It seems like most people have Nebraska in the low 30s. Off just first blush, how does that hit you?
Pretty okay.
Like pretty fair?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think that's where I would probably put Nebraska, given, returning production, guys that they've brought in. There's certainly some question marks about, what the defense is ultimately going to do, what the quarterback position is going to look like. But I mean, I think at least, one thing that makes me feel okay about them being there. I mean, I believe a lot in this offensive line, and what they can be. And I think that's a pretty good place to start, but I don't know. I mean, it feels like Nebraska's kind of always right in the 30s, right? Like that, that's kind of where they've always been, at least in recent years. And this probably feels like a team that, probably deserves to be about there as well, given the question marks.
Let me ask you something, BRUNTZ. Is there a position group? Because I get it. D-line, it just keeps coming up just because of the way that last year unfolded, and I understand that. Is there a position? Is that the position group that you think? Because what we do with these lists is we see who's coming back, and then we looked at how they played last year, and we're like, oh, this is what we think it's going to be like, right? I get that. But we also don't ever take into account, the fit, the coaching, who's coaching them, just being older.
Guys get better.
Like, so it's very linear that way, even though there's a lot more variables. Is there a position group that you think will benefit? And I'm not talking about better coach, worse coach. I'm just talking about fit that will benefit more from a different set of eyes and a fit in that room than the defensive line?
No.
Answer faster, please.
No. I mean,
I'm just curious how you feel. Like I feel like it's kind of mixed message there.
no, I think that's I think you're right there. I do think that there will be a better fit. Not saying better or worse coaching, but I do think a different set of eyes, different set of technique coaching will help a lot with guys in that group. I think just having another year is going to be really important for that group, more so than a lot of others, because you're talking about, Williams Winery, who seemed like he was making some strides towards the end of last year. What does that look like with another offseason? What does Cade Petchock look like with a full offseason? I'm very interested in what a guy like Tyson Terry looks like coming off of an injury. I mean, it just the passage of time for those guys is going to be very important. And I think I liked what I heard too from Corey Brown and the defensive coaches about just the work that needed to be done up there. Like, I think there was a lot of back to the basics that needed to happen, especially coming off of last season and the way that some of those basics unfolded. So, I don't know that there's a group that will benefit more from that. And then you add, guys that I'm eager to see what they look like over the course of a full Big Ten season. I mean, what does Jasir Whittington look like in the Big Ten? I think there's a very high ceiling there. Where's the floor? And I think that mix of guys, I think, will benefit a ton from Roy Manning, from Corey Brown, and just that whole organization. And I think they'll be put in better positions too as well.
Bruntz, when you're looking at this roster, you kind of got my attention with the Jasir Whittington higher ceiling thing. Who else on the roster, or maybe it is Whittington, who on the roster do you look at and go, hey, if things click for them, if they've got a better fit at position coach or whatever, who has the highest ceiling of a guy that maybe didn't either meet expectations last year or that we didn't see much of last year?
I mean, I'm eager to see if Riley Van Poppel can get back on his trend. I mean, I think I think last year was a fairly forgettable year for him. And I think he felt that. I think Nebraska's coaches saw that. I mean, when you kind of talk about a different set of eyes, Damon, I think that's kind of where I go to, especially with that group, is, how do you get him back playing confident, playing the kind of getting back to that athleticism that he had in, early in his Nebraska career, that he had in high school. That's going to be really important. And so I think that's one place I kind of go to, Ravi, is him. Whittington, I don't know. I mean, Nebraska really liked him in the transfer portal, and really worked hard to get him to Lincoln. And when you kind of start talking about, can you generate pass rush? Can you kind of generate those havoc plays that you need to win the games that Nebraska is going to have to win? I think he can do that stuff, but I just want to see a little bit bigger sample size. I mean, even you go back and watch the spring game, and I get it's the spring game, but I mean, he was a problem on certain plays for guys, and having to be blocked and held and that kind of thing. So I think I'm eager to kind of see what that looks like, because I think, like I said, I mean, I think the ceiling's high, and I think Nebraska has a lot of expectation for him in what he can bring to the table.
That's Michael Bruntz, Husker 24/7. Bruntz, we appreciate the time as always. We will talk to you next week.
Thanks.
See you guys.
That's Michael Bruntz, Husker 24/7. Coming up next, Adrian Dowell. He's the director of athletics for your Omaha athletics department, the Mavericks. We will talk to him in just a few minutes and get his thoughts on not just Omaha, but a lot of things that are going on in the world of college sports right now and how it affects universities in the same place that Omaha is in. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. Hurrdat Sports coming up next.
Everyone's talking about peptides. You are doing it right. At Next Gen Male Medical Clinic, peptide treatments are clinician guided, tailored to your goals, monitored for safety. Call today or visit nextgenmmc.com.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports HQ. We are joined now by Adrian Dowell. He is the athletic director for Omaha. Adrian, how are we doing this morning?
Ravi, DB, good seeing you guys. Thanks for having me on. Doing well.
Adrian, he gives me a hard time because he knows I have an unusual affinity. He says the only reason that you're coming on is to talk to me. So I told him that that's not true. We're equal opportunity lovers, but it is fantastic to see, man, the combination, your guys' working relationship from top to bottom at Omaha. It has been spectacular to watch. You know, I think the world of you.
Well, I appreciate that. And DB, you've been a great friend, no doubt, personally and for the Mavs as well. But Ravi, man, all you got to do is join us for lunch, man. That's all you got to do. Right?
I mean, I'm waiting for an invite. I'd be happy to, you know.
As long as you're paying, we're good, my man.
Oh, he's got some bougie taste, too. You and I am high on the other side of the menu from Ravi.
We'll go somewhere nice. We'll have a good time. Adrian, I'm super interested to talk to you because obviously Omaha has been doing some incredible things with the athletics. I know you've got all different kind of irons in the fires with capital projects and kind of trying to build out the infrastructure of the athletic department. I guess my question is, like, how do you balance where you're at as a program in terms of the grand scheme of Division I athletics versus where you're trying to go in terms of building the vision of what you want Omaha to be?
Yeah, you know what? Actually, great timing on that question. We actually sent a note out to the staff, kind of a state of department. Here's where we are. And I had to summarize it. It's certainly pleased and satisfied where we are. But, you know, we're trying to chase our ceiling, right? We've got to still move, even elevated wise, with a sense of urgency to really be the best version of ourselves. And good or bad, where college athletics is going right now, like, you have to be the best version. You have to be strategically aligned. You have to have alignment with your leadership. You have to be operational efficient. And the reality is you got to win right now. That's the only way to pull this off where college athletics is going. So we got to be the best version of ourselves. We got to take it to another level each and every year. We can't be complacent whatsoever if we're going to navigate what's going on.
You just strike me as the type of person that the best idea doesn't have to be your idea. You're obviously in lockstep with your administration at an elite level. You guys are together all the time, everywhere, extremely visible. Does that help being, because you're a visionary, so you want more, you know it has limits, but until you ask, you don't know what you're capable of. Like, how do you keep from not boxing yourself in, but understanding that there are spending parameters in which you have to operate under?
Yeah, first of all, it goes back to that word alignment, right? And more so now than ever in college athletics, like you have to have alignment from your leadership, from your chancellor to your AD to your coaches, more than ever. That's the only way to make this right. So having Dr. Lee, who just is a visionary leader,
she's incredible.
Yeah, she is incredible, right? She, the thing I love about her, she's smart. She moves at a pace that is really, really fast, I think, for higher education. She's got a great financial background as well, being the CFA, but she's also humble, right? She admits she doesn't know what she doesn't know. And we talk every single day. And as far as college athletics, like she leans on me to kind of keep her updated and posted. We strategize together, and we're going to make the best decisions we can with the information in hand. Then we're going to move, right? You don't have time to wait. You don't have time to really go through a thorough process anymore, just how fast college athletics is moving. And then you brought something else up. DB, you know this, like I'm never going to be the smartest guy in the room for real. So, what I try to do is have the smartest room. So what we're really blessed at UNO to have right now is not only a great chancellor, but we have a great stable of coaches. We have an incredible cabinet and team of executives in our athletic department of individuals who are much more qualified and smarter than I am. So once things change, it's not if, but when things change almost on a weekly basis, we meet and we pivot. If necessary, we try to make the best decisions we can, and we pull the trigger pretty quickly.
Let me ask you something, because whether it from Crutch to Coach Hurd, I mean, outstanding with volleyball. When you're looking at long-term stuff, I'll just use Coach Hurd, for instance, because, they locked him up early. He's somebody I think the world of. And
when we talked to him and loved him.
To get out in front, what you have, or how do you, is it a feel? Have you just watched some of the greats do it? How do you know when it's time to say, okay, listen, we're ready to make a long-term commitment? We've got a change potentially coming up in baseball. I don't know how you knew the timing in your head, but you do know that it's time. Okay, we've got to lock Coach X up. We're committed.
Yeah, sometimes it starts in the interview process, right? And one thing I've been fortunate in my career, I've worked with some outstanding coaches, really, from West Virginia, working with Bob Huggins and Dana Holgerson, to Creighton, having Coach Mack and Kirsten Booth, and just throughout my career, I've just been able to work with some high-quality individuals. So you learn what elite looks like in the coaching profile of college athletics. And then once there's proof of concept, right? Once they get here, once they are maximizing the resources they have, once they're experiencing competitive success and certainly winning championships, like you got to trust your gut as an AD. You just know, like, hey, this guy, this lady, they have it. It's time to lock them down as long as we can. At the same point, the reality is when you're a mid-major, sometimes when you have successful personnel, whether that's student athletes or coaches, right? You got to be comfortable that, hey, at some point they're really successful, bigger schools are going to try to come poach them. And that certainly has happened almost coach to coach, right? But what I'm really, really proud of is we've been really strategic trying to lock down these coaches. And since I've been here, we have not lost a coach yet to another opportunity that's been successful competitively and won the title. And that's almost heard of at the mid-major level.
You know what else? Speaking of unheard of, you talked about alignment, and you start with Chancellor, yourself, your coaches. Just talking to Mike on and off, like away from the show, then on the show. One of the things he's very consistent about is his relationship with you. And he used this word, not only are you a visionary, but it's a trust, where sometimes people will say things about things down the road and it sounds good, but there has to be this level of, okay, I could see him really speaking this into existence. This is the relationship that I have with him or her. That's when the true trust switch is hit. He talks about that with you all the time. You don't strike me as always super talkative. Are you more of the modeled behavior guy, or are you the, if I say it, just count on it? Because for him to latch on to that so quickly is typically not his style.
Yeah, I think the most important definition of alignment is trust, right? Chancellor's got to trust when I'm telling her, right? The coaches got to trust me, and I got to trust what the coaches are telling me. Like the position of AD, it's evolved significantly. Even since I've been here for 5 years, my job description looks totally different than it was, right? And also, just over the past decades, you guys know, Like the ADs used to be the old successful coaches, right? And now, like, this is a straight business, right? And so having some humility and telling these coaches, and I tell them all the time, like, look, I've never been a coach, right? Like, I don't know the ins and outs day to day what you're going through. Like, I have to trust what you're telling me. And more importantly, I need you to tell me how I can support you, not only day to day, but big picture wise. And once we make a decision together, like, we're going to roll. And I really think, and Coach Hurt's a great example. Like, I trust that guy so much, along with our other coaches. And like, if he tells me, if he walks in my office and says like, hey, I need something to move the needle, I need something to take our level from X to Y, like, no questions asked. We're going to figure it out. Like, I might not have the answers how we're going to do it right now, but we're going to work together to figure this out and get done. And really, in college athletics, now more than ever, with it becoming such a resource-driven game, like, you just have to bet on yourself being able to figure it out resource-wise over the term of the season.
One thing you and Ravi both share at a high, he is very Omaha driven. Like, he is for the city, for the state of Nebraska. Like, he rallies for that. The facilities, you already have a couple of nice ones. You've got another one coming. When you pit that with just the city of Omaha itself, the people in the city of Omaha, the people that are in your athletic department, are you surprised at what an advantage it is from a recruiting standpoint? Because sometimes I think facilities are overrated, but when you couple facilities with the people in the buildings and people can see long-term sustainability, like, that's really where the magic happens.
No doubt. Where facilities can help you is attract the people inside the building, right? And so, first of all, kudos to, visionary leaders in the philanthropic community long before I was here, visionary leaders who were here before I was here at UNO, to really lead the charge with Baxter Arena and Maverick Park. And as you mentioned, DB, we actually have 2 projects online right now. The $55 million training facility that's going to be attached to Baxter Arena, which is going to be a game changer. We have a new clubhouse. It's about $13 million. It's going to finish out Maverick Park. The reality is at this point in the very near future, like, UNO is going to have P4 facilities. And if you don't believe it, you should trust me. During College World Series, when you get all these big schools coming in and they're practicing using our facilities, like, they echo that sentiment already, much less a few years from now when we add another 2 significant pieces to our facility footprint. So that's huge. It's always been big, in my opinion. And I certainly think the 3 Division I universities in the state of Nebraska have always benefited from great facilities. But as the landscape changes in college athletics, especially as a mid-major, I actually think your capital footprint becomes even more important. So do our donors. Like, the reality is, like, we've got this phase 3 of our campus master plan coming online. It's about, $70 million total in projects. And the reality is, one of the reasons that donors were so passionate about these projects is because they think it can help us navigate the future of college athletics. Like, sometimes you got to look in the mirror and say, like, the reality is, I don't know if we're ever going to have kids from any of the sports we have that decide to come to UNO just because of the financial packages we're going to deliver, right? But that's not us. That's never been us. That won't be us in the future, right? We're going to be competitive. But that can't be the only reason they come here. The reality is when we have incredible facilities, which we already do, and it's getting better, like, that gives them just another reason to not say no to UNO. And once you layer that on top of the people in the buildings, as you mentioned, DB, much less the incredible city of Omaha and state of Nebraska, like, that's really hard to say no to. And that's certainly a huge competitive advantage we have recruiting-wise at UNO.
Adrian, you've brought up the term mid-major a few times here. And when I think mid-major, all I think of is universities that don't rely on big-time football to kind of run the show and bring in some of the finances that we're talking about here. Now, obviously, with the cost of running a big-time college football program, that can actually be an advantage sometimes to not have that on your balance sheet, I imagine. But I am curious, all of these decisions that are being made nationally, whether it's, your age-based eligibility with the 5-for-5 rule that they're seems like it's through, but it's going to get sued. People are going to sue for it, whatever. Like, it probably is going to happen, but who knows? Obviously, NIL is a big part of that. The one I really want to talk about first, though, is the expansion of the NCAA men's basketball tournament, because that's a place where mid-majors have been near and dear to my heart forever. And it's a place that seems like mid-majors have started to get squeezed out in the last 10 to 15 years. We're seeing a lot of middling to worse power conference teams make the NCAA tournament over really high quality mid-majors. And I'm hoping with everything in me that expanding 8 more teams means more mid-majors get in, as opposed to 8 more sub 500 power conference teams. As an athletic director at a mid-major, are there ways you can, not just for the basketball tournament, but are there ways you are able to advocate for the benefit and for the future of mid-majors to say, hey, I understand the football brings in the big money, but the soul and maybe foundation of college sports doesn't always lie with those programs?
Yeah, I'm a huge advocate. Fortunate to serve on a few national boards, and probably that's a discussion. It's like, hey, we understand the pressures that our peers at Power 4 and FBS institutions are going through, just related to the trials and tribulations, and also the good things that come with college football at the highest level. But at the same point, what makes Division I so attractive, not only to us who's participating in day to day, but also to the public, and why we have so much support, is just the diversity of schools we have at the Division I level. And to go back to your comment, one of the reasons I say mid-major is, yes, one of the reasons is we don't have FBS football, right? Certainly. But also there's 360 plus schools now at the D1 level. And if you literally threw a dart right in the middle, budget-wise, that's exactly where we are. So we could be more mid-major UNO than what we are, right? So, as it relates to the tournament, first of all, I am a purist. So my background, I worked at the NCAA national office. It was my first job out of college. I actually worked on the basketball staff that helps the committee bracket, runs the tournament, and March Madness. So trust me, like going from 64 to 68 was a tough pill to swallow, right? Much less where it's going now. But I would also say in my position, like, you got to worry about the things that you control, right? And I kind of preach that to our staff all the time. When things are so chaotic outside the buildings of our infrastructure, right? We got to control the things we can control with our process and really advocate when we get an opportunity to. And also, like, sometimes your opinion evolves in real time. And so I've actually done a 180 on this tournament expansion. I mean, at first I was totally against it, right? Just because of my background. But the reality is I don't know if you guys have been tracking this, but, it doesn't matter if you play in the first 4 game at Dayton or first round or second round game or Sweet 16. The value of the units tied to the games you play in is the same, right? Yeah. Now, we can get into merits whether that's fair or not, whether a Sweet 16 game is worth as much as a first 4 game, but that's also the same setup they're doing with this tournament expansion. So for mid-majors, where I go is, all right, big guys, if you guys are going to, send us to Dayton or Wichita now, like, that's fine. Like, we get a 50-50 game. We're going to go there and get a win. Then we're going to play a second game and get a second unit, right? And I think that's the way we've got to look at it from our perspective. Yes, going back to your question, theoretically, hopefully this helps a few mid-majors that have gotten squeezed out of at-large bids historically to maybe get another shot. Like that Indiana State team a couple of years ago comes to mind, for example. But the reality is it's probably going to go to the 10th or 11th place SEC or Big Ten school, right? Whether you like that or not, that's probably the way it's going to go. All we can do is kind of make the best out of the situation. I do think now, there's a chance we can actually win a game or two now in the NCAA tournament because of this expansion.
Let me expound a little bit, or see if I can get you to expound a little bit on 5 for 5. There has to be some sort of trickle down. There's going to be people wanting to maximize the window. People are going to look at the quote unquote not playing the first year. They're probably not going to call it a redshirt year. The players, it will move. Generally, not necessarily word association. If you talk to your coaches about age eligibility, do you get the consensus of a thumbs up or a thumbs down for how it impacts Omaha?
Yeah, you get 2 answers, right? And first of all, I've got a hockey program, right, that definitely drives and moves the needle for us. Age-based eligibility, especially initially before they evolved what the concept was initially, is really, really problematic within the landscape of college hockey.
100%.
Yep. Especially there's a concept called delayed enrollment, right? And a lot of your incoming hockey players traditionally
internationally
been over the age of 19, 20, 21, right? So this age-based model doesn't work cleanly with the sport of hockey. Now, on the other side, the rest of my sports, a lot of support for the age-based model. And in general, I do think the age-based model is the right concept to move forward with in college sports. It's just going to be a bigger adjustment for hockey relative to my other sports, in my opinion. But just to summarize it for all the listeners, right? There's age-based models is something that's going to be effective really quick here. There's 2 triggers: either turning the age of 19 and that following sports calendar year following after you turn 19, or when you enroll in college. Whichever comes first, that triggers your 5-year clock. The good news for student athletes is now is they have the opportunity, if they stay healthy, they can play 5 years of competition at the college level. Now, the flip side of it is, DB, as you mentioned, there's no more waivers, there's no more red shirts, there's no more exemptions outside of a religious trip, military service, pregnancy, but that impacts a very small population of student athletes at the collegiate level. So, you get 5 years to get as many seasons in that 5 years as you can, right? And so what that really changes and impacts, not only for hockey, but all my other sports as well, is just what the ecosystem of recruiting and roster management looks like. Yeah. I don't necessarily think it's bad for 15 of my 16 sports on the mid-major side, right? It certainly is going to take some adjustment on the hockey landscape front for sure, but I think eventually it's not necessarily bad. But all of a sudden, you've got kids that, are going to be here not just 4 years, but 5 years. I'll give you a very real example. DB, I know you feel great about Coach Hurrdat as I do as well, but he has a great roster coming back next year. And going into this year, they were originally going to be 8 or 9 seniors on that team. That's a core piece of their group. And all of a sudden, those leaves now 2 years. Now, not only do you look at next year and say, hey, we're going to be really good, but you look out 2 years from now, all of a sudden, these kids get an extra year of eligibility. They're going to be incredibly good 2 years out. So it's not necessarily bad for mid-majors. I think this helps us maybe hang on to some of our talented student athletes maybe a year or 2 longer than we ever have before maybe they get picked off in the transfer portal. But also what we're seeing in the ecosystem is, those Power 4 schools, when they build their rosters, they're looking to the transfer portal. They're looking for very proven, known commodities, right? Yes, they'll take a high-end high school kid for sure, but they're looking at our roster, right, to fill in those other spots. Yep. What that leaves is there's really, really talented high school student athletes. There's really, really talented JUCO student athletes now that maybe have gotten squeezed out of some of those Power 4 rosters or FBS roster spots, right? That all of a sudden they're finding their ways here on the mid-major side. So there's some good, there's some bad, there's some change, there's some pivots we've had to do strategically with it, but I don't think it's necessarily bad. And certainly the reason the NCAA has moved to this concept is to certainly help mitigate some of the legal pressures and lawsuits they are facing with eligibility.
Assuming we're at least status quo with the facilities, immaculate facilities, we talked about the tremendous community support. Omaha is a nice place to be. The infrastructure looks good. You seem to have a fantastic job rapport with admissions, getting guys in, student athletes in and out. That's always critical. Sometimes we just assume, but admissions appears to be razor sharp. So I ask you, if all those are consistent, would you, in 3 years, would you rather be in the retention or acquisition business as a coach?
It's an interesting question. I think the portfolio of coaches we are fortunate to have now, I think when you're playing the retention game, that's always the preferred model, right? If you're trying to retain a kid that's already popped and proved they're successful, that's the best case scenario. Recruiting is huge. We get that. And going into an acquisition game, certainly with this new era of college athletics, that's a great word for it, right? But you still don't know until they're here. You still don't know until there's proof of concept. Retention is so big, not only at our level, but even at the Power 4 level, even for football, basketball, hockey, you name the sport, is because once you have a kid that's popped and demonstrated that they can play at a high level for your sport at your program, you're willing to invest more in those student athletes because there's proof of concept in my opinion.
Adrian, you mentioned something earlier that I've been thinking about this whole time, about being basically smack dab in the middle of athletic budgets of the 360 so teams in Division I. Most of the teams, I imagine, that are ahead of you are playing FBS football, right? If you're at 180, 135 of those teams ahead of you are playing FBS football. Is there a world in which you see, I mean, we've talked about the amazing facilities and the capital projects and the new facilities that are going up. Is there a world you see in the next 3 to 5 years, or maybe it's already happening, where there are sports like, whether it's hockey, you're one of a handful of schools in the country where hockey is the primary athletic driver, or softball with Coach Hurd, or baseball, where Omaha is actually better situated than other schools that have larger budgets, but a lot of those budgets are devoted to a football program?
Great question. What's fascinating with the impacts of the House case settlement is it actually makes schools sort of play their cards, right? It's called selective excellence. I got this term from Bruce Rasmussen during my time at Creighton. Like, the reality as a mid-major is, like, we can't be championship level at every single sport. Like, we can't. Like, we don't have the resources to. I wish I did. I wish we could, but we've always operated that way, at the non-power 4 or 5 level. What's interesting with the impacts of the House case settlement is now those power 4 or power 5 schools are having to play the same game. One of the funniest conversations I've had to have over the past 2 years is those ADs calling me and saying, like, hey, so how do you choose, like, which sport you're going to invest in or not? Like, what's that conversation look like when you're telling the coach that they're going from X to Y or the opposite direction, right? So, like, we've always been in this game having to be really strategic about, all right, here are the sports that moves the needle for an institution. Here are the sports, DB, Ravi, that moves the needle in our market, in the Omaha community. Here are the sports that really helps give us a national platform to really shine a positive light on our institution. Like, that's always been a huge, huge part of the game. So, like, moving forward, that's only got compounded. Like, we have to be really strategic on not only what sports we're choosing to invest in a high level, but how we're doing it. And more importantly, working with the coaches and making sure these resources are being used to maximize their ability to experience competitive success. Now, at the same time, like, I think with the pressures of FBS football and college football playoff and everything else, like, I do think more and more Power 4, 5 schools are having to maybe trim down not only their portfolio sports, but which sports they're going to heavily invest on.
Yeah.
And to circle back on your question, that might give you an opportunity to be nationally competitive, not only win conference titles, but be competitive at the national level in certain sports, right? Certainly hockey for us has always been that way. But, to give you an example, like, I'm not so sure Coach Hurd in softball can't chase down the Super Regional or College World Series because, once you look at what we're investing in softball relative to other peers, like, it's not that far off of what it was maybe 5-10 years ago.
Great stuff. Adrian Dowell, the athletic director for the University of Nebraska at Omaha. Adrian, keep representing Omaha well. We love you for that, and we love Omaha athletics, so we can't wait to see what the future holds.
Absolutely.
Hey, appreciate you both. Appreciate Hurrdat. I'm so excited. I know our fan base will be so excited about our partnership, and don't ever hesitate to let us know if we can ever do anything for you guys.
You got it. I appreciate you, Adrian.
All right. See you guys.
That is Adrian Dowell. I'm sure we will talk to him again soon. That was a fantastic conversation and really interesting stuff. I actually,
It's fascinating.
I think there's a lot of people that look at a place like Omaha and say, oh, there's just no way they're going to be able to keep up in the new version of what college athletics is turning to, which is why I asked him that last question, because I actually do think if you don't have to pay for football, there's a lot of opportunities
Absolutely.
for you
Yeah,
in other sports.
And I like kind of how you asked the question, almost the inverse of.
Yeah.
Right? Like, well, it's not, because it may have sparked different thought if it was, hey, you don't have to pay for football. Is that easier?
Yeah. Well, I'll be honest. When he said that they're basically smack dab in the middle of budgets out of the 300, that stunned me.
Yeah, shocking.
I did not know they were that high in the scheme of college athletics at the Division I level. And I mean, logistically, when you think about it, they're one of the top non-football spenders in the country.
Yeah.
Then, like, they have to be just from numbers wise, right? And so that's it's a phenomenal place to be in if you're the University of Nebraska at Omaha. And he's right. Like, there's obviously softball is huge in Omaha. That's a great thing to invest in. Volleyball is huge in the state. That's a great thing to invest in. Baseball, huge in that state. Hockey. Like, they've already started to invest in the sports that he said really resonate with the community. I can't wait to see. And I also wonder if there's, and I'm sure we'll talk to him again, and I'd love to ask him this question. A lot of the conversations surrounding the World Cup have been about like, well, how does the U.S. get good at soccer and stuff like that? And that sort of spurned this conversation I was listening to on a podcast about how countries decide what sports they want to be good at, right? When there was, I don't know, 60 years ago or whatever, China kind of looked at the world map and said, hey, we want to be elite at some things. Where are some opportunities that we have? And so you get like women's gymnastics became a huge thing for them, and ping pong became like, they made a conscious effort to say, these are things we can dominate with our resources, with what our population is. These are some things we can dominate. It sounds a lot like what's going to happen at the Division I level, and saying, hey, maybe we can't win a national championship in X, Y, and Z. Like men's basketball would be a harder hill to climb for an Omaha than say they decide, hey, like, let's go win a softball national championship, right? Not to say people don't invest in softball, but that's a thing where between the community, the resources that you have,
if you can afford the financial offset of a generating revenue stream, you can get tremendous return on
your investment
and the investment.
Right. So like, I'm curious if that becomes a thing where they say, hey, where are the places we feel like we could win a national title? And they go all in on those things, not just the things that, and obviously the things that resonate here. And I think it's also a huge part that you can recruit locally in softball.
Yeah.
You can recruit locally in baseball and volleyball, and
more self-sustaining,
and field a roster.
You saw Coach Hurd's roster, right? It was like 3 spots. It was California, Nebraska.
I mean, not just Coach Hurd's roster, Coach Ravel's roster.
Yeah.
Like, there's enough softball players to go around here in the
state. He had done a good job because when he went to California, like they hit.
Yeah, they got like they were strategic and they got people that matter.
Yeah, they hit.
I'm fascinated.
Or hit on the
they were hits.
Yeah,
in terms of who they got there. I'm fascinated to see moving forward what that looks like for Omaha, because
if you treat people well and you have nice facilities and you think that's going to be the case, you're good with your admissions,
you're going to have a shot.
It's going to become retention.
Yeah.
See, he answered the question beautifully, and I'm glad he liked it, but that's what Nebraska's trying to do.
Yeah. Well, he said you'd always want to be in the retention business, right?
You want to make this a tough place to leave.
Mm-hmm.
They want to hit at an 83% retention rate next year too.
Yeah.
And imagine if they do.
Right.
That roster gets good in a hurry.
Yeah. That's a much easier business to be in long term, even if there's some growing pains on the front end of it.
100%.
That is the show for today. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. Really
still
appreciate.
Got Shane traumatized to play music, but it's fun.
Really appreciate all of our guests today. It was great talking to Adrian Dowell of University of Nebraska Omaha. I know that you guys are close and you're a big fan. I haven't had as much interactions with him, but between Creighton and Omaha, I'm a big fan of his as well. So glad we got to get a chance to talk to him. And you'll see a lot of Hurrdat around Omaha athletics in the future as well. So
we dominate the hockey landscape.
It might not just be hockey.
Oh, I know. I'm trying to ease into it.
Don't want to spill beans. There might be a lot of Hurrdat around Omaha pretty soon. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. We'll be back tomorrow. More Hurrdat Sports Live.
See you. Have a good day. Love you.